This recording is about unlocking effortless success and personal growth by aligning your subconscious mind with what you truly desire. Success doesn't have to be a struggle. It can unfold smoothly when your thoughts, beliefs, and inner state are in harmony with it. This recording is designed to work while you sleep. You'll wake up feeling more aligned, focused, and naturally drawn to the right paths. You don't need to force anything. Just relax, let it play, and let your subconscious absorb it. Over time, you will notice how growth and success happen effortlessly, without stress or resistance. Want to keep expanding? Subscribe to this channel and continue evolving with ease. There exists a deep and quiet level of awareness, a vast inner space operating beneath the flow of daily thoughts. This realm holds immense potential, a source from which much of life's direction emerges. It functions silently, consistently, shaping experiences in ways that often go unnoticed. Think of it not as a hidden room, but as the very foundation upon which the house of experience is built. The nature of this foundation profoundly influences the structure it supports. It works according to its own principles, its own quiet logic, processing information and impressions constantly. Within this inner landscape, ideas take root like seeds. Not all seeds sprout, but those that find fertile ground, nourished by consistent attention or deep-seated feeling, begin to grow. This growth is often unseen at first, happening below the surface. A thought, initially small and insignificant, can gather energy. A belief, formed long ago perhaps, acts like a lens, coloring perception, guiding choices subtly, almost invisibly. There is no force involved, simply the natural tendency for patterns to establish themselves and persist. Success, in its most authentic form, often arises from this inner alignment. When the deep, quiet levels of the mind are oriented towards possibility, towards growth, towards a particular vision of well-being, the path forward seems to clear naturally. It's less about striving and straining against obstacles, and more about flowing with a current that moves in the desired direction. This current is generated from within. It's the outflow of established inner patterns. Resistance melts away when the underlying belief system supports the journey. Effort becomes less about pushing and more about participating in an unfolding process. Consider the nature of effortless action. A skilled musician doesn't consciously think about every finger placement. The music flows through them. An athlete in peak performance moves with intuitive grace. This state of flow becomes more accessible when the inner world is free from conflict and contradiction regarding the desired outcome. Doubts, fears, limiting beliefs, these act like dams or diversions in the inner river, hindering the natural flow towards success and growth. Gently dissolving these inner obstacles is key. This dissolution doesn't require intense struggle. It often happens through quiet contemplation, through the gentle introduction of new perspectives, new possibilities. Like water smoothing a stone over time, persistent but gentle focus on empowering ideas gradually reshapes the inner landscape. The subconscious mind is receptive, particularly in states of rest and relaxation. It absorbs the ambient atmosphere of thought and feeling. Growth itself is a fundamental impulse of life. A plant reaches for sunlight without conscious effort, It simply embodies the principle of growth. Similarly, personal evolution can be an organic unfolding rather than a series of forced marches. When the inner conditions are right, when the soil of the mind is nurtured with possibility, belief, and positive expectation, growth happens. Success becomes a natural byproduct of this inner state. It's attracted, drawn forth, rather than hunted down. The patterns held in the subconscious are powerful because they operate automatically. They are the autopilot system of the mind. Changing the destination programmed into this autopilot allows for a new course to be followed smoothly without constant manual correction. This reprogramming isn't a matter of force, but of consistency and clarity. Introducing new ideas, allowing them to settle, letting them become familiar and accepted at a deep level. This is how the inner navigation system is updated. The power of quiet conviction. A deep-seated belief that something is possible, or even inevitable, has a subtle organizing effect on thoughts, perceptions, and actions. It filters information, highlighting confirmations and downplaying contradictions. This isn't about ignoring reality, but about tuning into the aspects of reality that resonate with the inner conviction. This selective attention, guided by the subconscious, subtly steers the course of experience. Effortless success doesn't mean lack of action. Actions still occur, but they feel inspired, timely, and effective. They arise from a place of alignment, not from a place of struggle or resistance. The right opportunities seem to appear, the right connections are made, the right insights dawn. This synchronicity is often a reflection of the inner state harmonizing with the outer world. The subconscious, aligned with success, becomes adept at recognizing and responding to opportunities that might otherwise be missed. This inner world is constantly being shaped. Every thought, every feeling, every experience leaves an imprint. Becoming more aware of the asterisk quality of these imprints allows for more conscious cultivation of the inner garden. Choosing to dwell on thoughts of possibility, gratitude, and inherent worth helps to create a fertile ground for success. It's a gentle tending, a quiet encouragement of what is desired, rather than a battle against what is not. The subconscious responds well to feelings. The feeling of success, the feeling of growth, the feeling of well-being, even when imagined or remembered, signals to the deeper mind that this is a desired state. It begins to organize itself around reproducing that feeling, seeking pathways to make it a more consistent reality. This is not about pretending or forcing a feeling, but about allowing oneself to connect with the essence of that desired state, letting its resonance permeate the inner world. Growth unfolds in its own time, like the changing seasons. There are periods of germination beneath the surface, periods of budding growth, periods of flowering, and periods of rest and integration. Trusting this natural rhythm is part of the effortless approach. Pushing too hard, demanding instant results, can disrupt the delicate process. Patience, combined with quiet inner alignment, allows growth to occur sustainably and gracefully. The potential for success and growth is inherent. It's not something that needs to be imported from outside. It resides within, waiting to be acknowledged and activated. The key is the alignment of the subconscious, that deep, quiet, powerful level of mind with this inherent potential. When this alignment occurs, the journey towards success becomes less of a battle and more of a dance. guided by an inner wisdom that knows the steps. The subconscious holds the map, and when properly oriented, gently guides the way forward, making the journey feel natural, intuitive, and ultimately effortless. It's about creating an inner environment where success is not just possible, but expected, where growth is not forced, but allowed. This inner sanctuary, once cultivated, becomes a continuous source of strength, guidance, and effortless becoming. The seeds planted here, in the quiet depths, yield the most profound harvests. The energy spent is not in forcing the growth, but in tending the soil, ensuring it is rich and receptive. This gentle cultivation allows the inherent potential to blossom naturally, revealing the path to success as an unfolding journey rather than a destination to be conquered through sheer will. The quiet confidence that arises from this inner alignment becomes a magnetic force, drawing experiences and opportunities that resonate with the cultivated state of being. It's a subtle shift from chasing outcomes to embodying the state from which those outcomes naturally arise. This embodiment is the true secret, the quiet power that unlocks a reality where growth is constant and success feels like coming home. The deep currents of the mind begin to flow unimpeded towards expansion, carrying one smoothly towards ever greater expressions of potential. The inner environment, that fertile ground mentioned before, is largely composed of beliefs. These are the assumptions, the convictions, the accepted truths that operate deep within the mind. They form the invisible architecture of personal reality. Like the foundations of a building, they are mostly unseen, yet they determine the shape and stability of everything built upon them. These beliefs act as powerful filters, quietly sorting through the infinite stream of information the world presents, allowing passage mainly to that which confirms their own validity. This happens automatically beneath the level of conscious scrutiny. An accepted belief about limitation will subtly highlight evidence of lack, while a core conviction of abundance will naturally attune perception to notice opportunity and resourcefulness. These foundational ideas are not static fixtures. They possess a certain malleability. While deeply held beliefs can feel permanent, they were often formed through past experiences, interpretations, and repeated thoughts. Just as they were learned, they can be gently reshaped or replaced. This process is not typically one of forceful demolition, but rather a gradual renovation. Introducing new ideas, perspectives that feel slightly more expansive, slightly more empowering, begins the process. Like adding fresh water to a cloudy pool, clarity gradually increases as the new influences dilute the old. Consider the power of gentle, persistent suggestion. The subconscious mind doesn't engage in debate. It absorbs patterns. Consistent exposure to ideas of ease, growth, and possibility begins to weave these concepts into the fabric of underlying belief. It's akin to a path being worn through a field, not by a single heavy tread, but by countless light steps following the same route. Over time, this new path becomes the natural way to travel. Old pathways, representing outdated limitations, gradually fade from lack of use, overgrown by neglect, as attention and energy are directed elsewhere. There's a principle of resonance at play. The inner state, conditioned by beliefs and habitual thoughts and feelings, tends to attract experiences and circumstances that vibrate at a similar frequency. A mind accustomed to dwelling on difficulty may find difficulty reflected back in various forms. Conversely, cultivating an inner atmosphere of trust and positive expectation acts like a tuning fork, drawing resonant harmonies from the environment. This isn't magic, but a subtle interplay between internal orientation and external perception and response. What is held deeply within influences what is noticed and engaged with externally. Opportunities aligned with inner readiness are more easily recognized and acted upon. Change within this deep realm doesn't always arrive like a sudden storm. Often, it's more like a subtle shift in the prevailing wind. A small adjustment in perspective, a slight softening of a rigid belief, can initiate a cascade of subtle changes that accumulate over time. Effortless growth favors this gentle unfolding. It respects the established structures while patiently introducing modifications. The aim is not to fight against existing patterns, which often strengthens them, but to introduce more desirable patterns and give them consistent, quiet attention. Energy flows where attention goes. By consistently directing attention towards possibility, towards solutions, towards inherent worth, the energy available to sustain limiting beliefs diminishes. Letting go of old patterns becomes less about active removal and more about rendering them obsolete. When new, more beneficial ways of thinking and feeling become dominant, the old ways simply lose their relevance and power. They become echoes rather than active voices. This process requires patience and a willingness to allow the transformation to occur at its own pace, trusting that the gentle, consistent introduction of positive, expansive ideas is indeed working, even when immediate results aren't obvious, is crucial. The most significant growth often happens quietly, beneath the surface, preparing for its eventual emergence. Inner harmony arises when different beliefs and desires begin to align, flowing in the same direction. Conflict arises when one part of the mind desires success, while another harbors deep beliefs about unworthiness or fear of failure. This internal friction creates resistance and makes progress feel like a struggle. Cultivating coherence, where core beliefs support conscious aspirations, allows energy to flow freely. Success and growth then feel less like swimming against the current and more like being carried by it. This inner coherence is a state where the subconscious landscape naturally supports the desired journey. The language the subconscious understands best is often that of feeling and symbol, conveyed through repetition and emotional resonance. Simple, clear ideas, imbued with a feeling of possibility or quiet certainty, seep effectively into this deeper layer. It's not about complex intellectual arguments, but about the consistent presence of a core message. Growth is natural. Success is achievable. Ease is possible. Allowing these messages to permeate the mind, especially during receptive states, lays down the new pathways, reinforces the desired architecture. This quiet work of tending the inner garden, refining beliefs, and cultivating harmony is the essence of unlocking effortless growth. It's about understanding that the outer world is often a mirror to the inner landscape. By focusing on cultivating a rich, fertile, and harmonious inner world, the corresponding outer reality begins to shift naturally, reflecting the changes within. Success stops being a distant goal to be chased and becomes an emergent property of a well-tended inner state. The journey becomes one of continuous, gentle refinement, allowing potential to unfold with grace and ease, guided by the quiet wisdom embedded in the subconscious depths. This subtle reorientation, this patient cultivation, holds the key to transforming struggle into flow, limitation into possibility. It's a process rooted in the understanding that the most profound power often operates silently, shaping reality from the inside out. The focus shifts from controlling outcomes to nurturing the source from which outcomes arise. This inner source, the subconscious realm, can be pictured as a vast and deep reservoir within. It holds not only memories and learned responses, but also untapped potential, dormant skills, and profound insights. Its depths contain the echoes of past experiences, the currents of ingrained habits, and the seeds of future possibilities. Unlike the conscious mind, which constantly analyzes, judges, and filters, this deeper level operates with a different quality. It is fundamentally receptive and non-judgmental. It doesn't categorize incoming information as good or bad, true or false, in the same way the analytical mind does. Instead, it absorbs impressions, feelings, and ideas, particularly those accompanied by strong emotion or repetition. This receptive quality is crucial. It means that the inner landscape can be influenced, shaped over time by the dominant patterns of thought and feeling allowed to permeate it. Like fertile soil receiving seeds, it accepts what is offered. If the seeds are those of doubt and limitation, those are the potentials that will be nurtured. If the seeds are those of confidence, possibility, and ease, then those qualities will take root and grow. Understanding this non-judgmental receptivity encourages a gentle awareness of the kinds of seeds being consistently sown through habitual thinking and emotional states. From these depths, intuition often arises. Those subtle nudges, gut feelings, or flashes of insight that seem to come from nowhere are frequently whispers from the subconscious. This level of mind processes vast amounts of information below the threshold of awareness, patterns, subtle cues, past experiences, and synthesizes them into intuitive guidance. Learning to recognize and trust these subtle signals can be a powerful aspect of effortless navigation towards success. It's like having an inner compass that points towards alignment and away from resistance. This guidance often speaks quietly, easily drowned out by the noise of conscious worry or analysis, highlighting the value of inner quiet and receptivity. Another key characteristic is its tendency to interpret ideas quite literally. Metaphors and vivid imagery can be powerful communication tools, but ambiguity can lead to unintended results. A vague intention or a belief phrased negatively, e.g., "I don't want to fail," might still keep the focus on the concept of failure. Clarity and precision in desired outcomes, framed positively, provide clearer instructions for this literal-minded aspect of being. It responds well to affirmations and visualizations that depict the desired state as already present or unfolding. Taking these as if scenarios as blueprints. Furthermore, the subconscious seems to operate outside the constraints of linear time, as perceived by the conscious mind. Past experiences, especially those with strong emotional charges, can feel perpetually present, influencing current reactions and expectations. Similarly, deeply held beliefs about the future can shape present actions and perceptions, as if that future were already determined. This timeless quality means that healing past imprints and cultivating future possibilities are deeply intertwined. Addressing old wounds can free up energy for growth, while focusing on desired future states can begin to reorganize present experience. It suggests that the point of power for influencing this realm is always the present moment, the moment where new thoughts are thought, new feelings are felt, new intentions are set. This deep mind is also the seat of habits. Actions and thought patterns repeated over time become automated, requiring little conscious effort. This is efficient, freeing up conscious attention for other tasks. However, it also means that unhelpful habits, whether behavioral or mental, can become deeply ingrained. The effortless path to success often involves the gentle cultivation of new, more supportive habits of thought and action. This isn't about forcing change through willpower alone, which can be exhausting, but about consistently introducing the desired new pattern until the subconscious adopts it as the new default. Repetition, consistency, and associating the new habit with positive feeling are key elements in this process. Setting a clear intention is like planting a specific seed in this fertile inner ground. A focused intention acts as a signal, an organizing principle that begins to draw relevant resources and insights from the subconscious reservoir. It provides direction. When an intention is held with quiet conviction, without anxious striving, it allows the deeper mind to work creatively towards its fulfillment, often in unexpected ways. This requires trust in the process, trust in the inner resources, trust that the intention has been received, and the process of manifestation is underway, even if not immediately visible. Understanding these characteristics, receptivity, non-judgment, literal interpretation, timelessness, habit formation, responsiveness to intention, illuminates the path of effortless growth. It shows why gentle consistency is more effective than forceful struggle. It explains how inner alignment translates into outer experience. It underscores the importance of cultivating a positive inner atmosphere through mindful awareness of thoughts and feelings. By working with the nature of the subconscious rather than against it, the journey towards success and personal evolution becomes smoother, more intuitive, and deeply rewarding. It's about becoming a skillful gardener of the inner world, knowing the nature of the soil and nurturing the seeds of desired potential until they blossom naturally in the outer world. This understanding transforms the process from a battle of wills into a collaborative dance with the deep, creative power within. The focus shifts towards cooperation with these inner laws, allowing them to facilitate the unfolding of potential with grace and ease. The collaboration with the deep inner reservoir involves understanding how its contents subtly yet powerfully shape the experience of the world. It's not merely about holding positive thoughts, but about recognizing that the inner landscape actively participates in the creation of perceived reality. One primary way this occurs is through the mechanism of perception itself. Perception is often assumed to be a passive receiving of information from the outside world, like looking through a clear window. However, it operates more like looking through a lens, one that is ground and tinted by the beliefs, expectations, and emotional patterns held within the subconscious. This inner lens doesn't just passively transmit light, it actively focuses, filters, magnifies, and colors what is seen. Out of the infinite data points available in any given moment, the subconscious, guided by its existing programs, selects and highlights those that match its internal landscape. Consider how the same external event can be interpreted in vastly different ways, depending on the observer's inner state. An unexpected change might be perceived as a disastrous disruption by someone holding deep beliefs in scarcity and fear, while the same change might be seen as an exciting opportunity by someone whose inner world is oriented towards growth and resilience. The external event is neutral, the interpretation, the meaning assigned, and consequently the emotional and behavioral response are largely generated from within, shaped by the filters of the subconscious. Effortless success often involves the gradual polishing and refining of this inner lens, clearing away the distortions of limiting beliefs so that possibilities can be perceived more clearly. It's about cultivating an inner state that naturally filters for opportunity, connection, and positive potential. There exists within the mind a remarkable capacity to filter awareness, akin to an internal spotlight or a highly selective tuning mechanism. This faculty allows attention to be directed, focusing awareness on relevant information while screening out the irrelevant background noise. When a clear intention is set, or when a particular belief is strongly held, it effectively tunes this filtering system. The mind begins to automatically notice things in the environment that resonate with that intention or belief: resources, information, people, circumstances that might have previously gone completely unnoticed. Someone intending to learn a new skill might suddenly start seeing articles, courses, or conversations related to it everywhere. This isn't necessarily because these things have suddenly increased in the world, but because the internal filter has been adjusted to recognize their relevance. This mechanism plays a significant role in the experience of effortless unfolding. The path seems to light up with relevant cues and opportunities once the inner direction is clearly established. The subconscious, programmed with the destination, begins highlighting the signposts along the way. Emotional resonance is another profound mechanism through which the inner world shapes experience. Feelings are not just subjective states. They carry specific energetic signatures, vibrational frequencies. The subconscious mind communicates powerfully through these feelings, and it also responds to them. Deep-seated emotional patterns, the underlying moods and temperaments shaped by core beliefs, create a kind of pervasive inner atmosphere. This atmosphere acts like a resonant field, tending to attract or amplify experiences that match its quality. A persistent, underlying feeling of anxiety may subtly attune perception to potential threats, while a baseline feeling of gratitude can open awareness to notice more things to be grateful for, cultivating positive feeling states, not as a forced act, but as a consequence of shifting beliefs and focus towards more empowering perspectives, helps to create an inner resonance that draws forth more harmonious and successful experiences. It's about nurturing an inner emotional home that feels like the desired outcome, thereby inviting that outcome to manifest more tangibly. The feeling itself becomes a form of communication with the deeper self, signaling the desired reality. Life operates through continuous feedback loops. Inner states, beliefs, feelings influence perceptions and actions. These perceptions and actions lead to certain experiences and outcomes in the outer world. These experiences, in turn, are interpreted through the existing inner filters, often reinforcing the original inner states. This cycle can create self-perpetuating patterns of limitation, or conversely, virtuous cycles of growth. A belief in inadequacy might lead to hesitant actions, resulting in poor outcomes, which then confirm the belief in inadequacy. Conversely, a belief in capability can inspire confident action, leading to success, which strengthens the initial belief. The key to effortless growth lies in understanding this loop and learning to introduce gentle, positive interventions. Shifting a core belief, even slightly, or consciously cultivating a different emotional response, can begin to alter the entire dynamic. Over time, these small, consistent adjustments redirect the feedback loop towards desired states of success and well-being, creating an upward spiral where growth feels increasingly natural and self-sustaining. Within this framework, meaningful coincidences, often termed synchronicities, can be understood not merely as random chance, but as potential manifestations of this inner alignment working through the feedback loop and the perceptual filter. When the inner world is strongly oriented towards a particular goal or state of being, the subconscious mind, with its vast processing power and access to subtle information, may become adept at recognizing hidden connections and patterns in the outer world. Opportunities may arise that seem perfectly timed. The right person might appear with the right information, or an unexpected event might smoothly pave the way forward. From the perspective of inner alignment, these events can be seen as the intersection of a prepared inner state with external circumstances, recognized and acted upon because the internal tuner is set correctly. It's less about magical intervention and more about heightened awareness and pattern recognition, guided by the subconscious, meeting opportune moments in the flow of life. These moments serve as encouraging feedback, confirming that the inner alignment is creating ripples in the outer world. Crucially, collaborating effectively with the subconscious often involves letting go of the need for the conscious mind to control or understand how a desired outcome will manifest. The conscious mind is linear and limited in its scope, while the subconscious operates in more holistic, nonlinear ways, capable of synthesizing information and finding pathways that the conscious mind could never conceive of, setting a clear intention, nurturing the corresponding beliefs and feelings, and then releasing attachment to the specific process allows the deeper wisdom to work unimpeded. It's about trusting that the what, the desired state, has been communicated and allowing the how to unfold naturally. This release of control is a cornerstone of effortlessness. Striving, forcing, and worrying about the details often introduces resistance and hinders the subconscious process. Trust, patience, and focusing on maintaining the aligned inner state become the primary tasks. These mechanisms, perception shaping, internal filtering, emotional resonance, feedback loops, synchronicity, and the release of control, operate continuously, subtly weaving the fabric of experience. They are the unseen gears and currents driven by the powerhouse of the subconscious. Understanding their existence and their nature allows for a more deliberate and gentle cultivation of the inner world. By tending to beliefs, managing emotional states, setting clear intentions, and trusting the process, one engages these powerful mechanisms in service of effortless growth and success. The journey becomes less about battling external circumstances and more about harmonizing the inner source from which circumstances flow. This internal cultivation is the quiet, profound work that allows potential to blossom seemingly by itself, guided by the invisible hand of the aligned subconscious. It is the path of least resistance, where success unfolds not through force, but through flow, harmonizing the inner source. That deep wellspring from which experience flows involves cultivating specific qualities that allow the subconscious mechanisms to operate with grace and efficiency. These qualities form the very bedrock upon which effortless success and growth are built. One of the most fundamental of these is inner peace. This is not merely the absence of turmoil, but a positive state of calm centeredness, a quiet stillness within, regardless of external circumstances. Like a calm lake perfectly reflecting the sky, a peaceful mind allows for clarity of perception and thought. Stress, anxiety, and incessant mental chatter act like static, interfering with the subtle signals from the subconscious, clouding judgment, and creating resistance to flow. Inner peace, conversely, creates a receptive, fertile ground where intuition can surface more easily, where creative solutions can emerge, and where the deeper mind can work without the friction of internal conflict. Cultivating this state, perhaps through quiet contemplation or gentle awareness practices, allows the entire system to function more harmoniously, reducing the sense of effort in navigating life. Intricately linked with inner peace is the profound power of trust. This encompasses trust in the unfolding process of life, trust in the inherent wisdom and resourcefulness of the subconscious mind, and ultimately, trust in oneself. Doubt and fear are significant impediments to effortless action. They act like brakes applied against the forward momentum of intention. Trust is the antidote. It involves a conscious choice to believe in the possibility of positive outcomes, to rely on the inner guidance system, and to have faith that challenges can be navigated. This isn't blind optimism, but a cultivated inner stance that releases the desperate need for control and allows space for the subconscious to orchestrate solutions. Trust dissolves the anxiety that often accompanies ambition, replacing striving with a confident expectation. It's like learning to float in water. The struggle ceases when trust allows the natural buoyancy to take over. Cultivating trust might involve acknowledging past successes, focusing on strengths, and consciously releasing worries about the how and when. It is an active nurturing of confidence in the unseen processes that support growth. Clarity of intention is another vital element, revisited here to emphasize its quality. It's not enough to simply have a goal. The clarity and purity of that intention matter significantly. A clear intention acts like a focused beam of light, providing unambiguous direction to the subconscious filtering and guidance systems. Ambiguity, conflicting desires, or intentions tainted with desperation or fear create mixed signals, diffusing the focus and potentially hindering progress. True clarity involves knowing not just what is desired, but understanding the underlying asterisk why, the core feeling or state of being that the outcome represents. Is it freedom, security, joy, contribution? Connecting with this deeper essence purifies the intention, aligning it with core values and making it a much more potent signal to the subconscious. This sharp clarity helps to tune the perceptual filters accurately and mobilize inner resources effectively, drawing forth the necessary elements for its realization with greater ease. Alongside clarity and trust, inner resilience is crucial. This is often misunderstood as mere toughness or endurance through hardship. A more profound resilience, however, arises from inner flexibility and adaptability, rooted in a stable core of self-awareness and trust. It's less like an unyielding rock being battered by waves, and more like a deeply rooted reed that bends with the wind but doesn't break, returning naturally to its upright position. An aligned subconscious, imbued with beliefs in capability and resourcefulness, fosters this kind of resilience. Challenges and setbacks are encountered not as devastating blows, but as feedback, opportunities for learning, or temporary detours. The inner equilibrium is maintained, allowing for graceful navigation through difficulties without being thrown entirely off course or resorting to frantic struggle. This flexible resilience allows for persistence towards goals without the exhausting friction of resistance, embodying the principle of bending without breaking. Expanding on the idea of releasing control is the principle of non-attachment to outcomes. This is a subtle yet powerful state. It involves setting clear intentions, investing energy and focus, taking inspired action, yet holding the specific results lightly. It differentiates between commitment to the path and rigid fixation on a predetermined destination, timeline, or form. Attachment often stems from fear of not getting what is desired, fear of loss. This fear creates tension and hinders flow. Non-attachment, cultivated through trust and inner peace, allows for flexibility and openness. It acknowledges that the subconscious, or the larger intelligence of life, might orchestrate outcomes in ways that are different from, perhaps even better than, what the conscious mind initially conceived. This openness invites unexpected solutions and serendipitous events, releasing the pressure of asterisk needing a specific result in a specific way, frees up enormous energy, and allows the process to unfold with significantly less effort and stress. Finally, there is a subtle yet transformative state that involves cultivating the feeling of the desired reality as if it were already present or inevitably unfolding. This is not about forced pretense or denying current circumstances, but about accessing and embodying the asterisk emotional and vibrational essence of the fulfilled desire. How would it feel to have achieved that success, to be living that growth, connecting with that feeling state, perhaps of satisfaction, freedom, confidence, or ease, sends a powerful signal of completion and alignment to the subconscious. It begins to reorganize inner patterns to match this achieved state, effectively drawing the external manifestation closer. This, acting as if, from an authentic feeling level, bridges the gap between the current state and the desired state within the subconscious realm, where time is fluid. It aligns the inner resonance with the target reality, making its eventual appearance feel less like a conquest and more like a natural emergence, a homecoming. Together, these qualities, inner peace, profound trust, clear intention, flexible resilience, non-attachment, and embodying the feeling of the wish fulfilled, constitute the signature of an aligned inner state. They are not separate techniques to be applied mechanically, but facets of a holistic inner orientation. Cultivating these qualities allows the subconscious mind to function as the powerful ally it truly is, guiding the way towards success and growth with remarkable efficiency and grace. They transform the journey from a struggle against limitation into a flowing dance with possibility, unlocking the door to truly effortless achievement. This inner cultivation becomes the primary focus, trusting that the outer world will naturally rearrange itself in response to a harmonized, clear, and trusting inner source. The gentle, patient cultivation of the inner world, as explored previously, serves a profound purpose. It creates the ideal conditions for inherent potential to awaken and unfold. Potential is not something external that needs to be desperately sought or acquired. It resides within, an innate blueprint of possibility woven into the very fabric of being. Much like a seed contains the complete design of the mature plant, awaiting only the right combination of soil, water, and light. The human system holds vast reservoirs of latent abilities, talents, and capacities for growth and success. This potential might lie dormant, obscured by layers of limiting beliefs, fear, or lack of awareness, but its fundamental existence is a constant. The journey of effortless growth is largely about learning to provide the optimal inner conditions, the fertile soil of belief, the nourishing water of positive feeling, the activating light of clear intention, that allow this inherent potential to emerge naturally and express itself fully. Recognizing this potential, both within oneself and in the opportunities the world presents, is significantly enhanced by an aligned subconscious. When the inner landscape is cleared of the distorting static of fear, doubt, and negative expectations, perception becomes sharper, more attuned to subtle realities. Intuition, that quiet voice from the depths, speaks more clearly, highlighting paths and possibilities that resonate with the core self. An aligned subconscious acts like a finely tuned instrument, capable of detecting the faint signals of opportunity that might otherwise be missed. It allows one to see the potential oak within the small acorn, to recognize the nascent possibility shimmering beneath the surface of a challenging situation. Where a mind clouded by limitation sees only obstacles and dead ends, A mind aligned with its deeper potential perceives pathways, resources, and openings for growth. This enhanced recognition is not forced. It arises naturally as the inner filters are cleansed and refined. This inherent potential unfolds most gracefully when allowed to emerge organically, rather than being forced into preconceived molds. There's a tendency to look outwards for models of success, to adopt external definitions and strive to fit into them. This often leads to struggle, resistance, and a feeling of inauthenticity, as it may go against the grain of one's unique inner design. Effortless growth, however, favors the path of natural unfolding. It involves listening inwardly, attuning to the unique inclinations, talents, and passions that arise from within, and trusting this inner guidance system. Potential expresses itself differently in each individual. Allowing this unique expression to emerge, following its intrinsic rhythm and direction, leads to a form of success that is deeply fulfilling precisely because it is authentic. It's a process of becoming more fully what one already is at the core, rather than trying to become something else defined by external pressures. This requires courage to deviate from expected paths and trust in the validity of one's own inner compass. Deeply embedded within the subconscious are often limiting labels and definitions of self, acquired through past experiences, conditioning, or societal messages. Phrases like, "I am not creative," "I am not a leader," "I am not good with challenges," act as invisible cages, confining potential within narrow boundaries. The process of subconscious alignment inherently involves questioning and dissolving these self-imposed limitations, as limiting beliefs are gently replaced with more expansive ones, and as self-worth is recognized as inherent rather than conditional. These old labels lose their power. Awareness expands beyond the confines of past identity structures, revealing a much vaster field of potential. It becomes clear that potential is fluid and dynamic, not fixed by past performance or old definitions. Who one is capable of becoming is far greater than who one has been. This realization is incredibly liberating and opens up entirely new horizons for growth and achievement, accessed with less internal friction. Cultivating genuine curiosity plays a vital role in exploring and activating this newly recognized potential. When the inner world feels safe, characterized by peace and trust rather than fear and anxiety, a natural curiosity about life, about possibilities, about what if, can flourish. Curiosity is the gentle engine of exploration. It prompts learning, experimentation, and engagement with the world without the heavy pressure of needing to succeed or fearing failure. It approaches the unknown not as a threat, but as an invitation. An aligned subconscious, free from the paralysis of fear, supports this curious engagement. It allows for playful exploration of new interests, skills, and ways of being. This curiosity-driven exploration is often how hidden talents are discovered, and new pathways of potential are uncovered, seemingly by chance, but actually facilitated by an open and receptive inner state. The unfolding of potential rarely happens in dramatic, overnight transformations. More often, it mirrors natural growth, proceeding through a series of small, manageable, consistent steps. An aligned subconscious provides invaluable support for this incremental journey. It offers intuitive nudges about the appropriate next step, fosters the resilience needed to navigate minor setbacks, and helps maintain focus and motivation without generating stressful urgency. Each small step taken, each minor success achieved, acts as positive feedback, reinforcing the belief in one's capabilities and building momentum. This steady, step-by-step progress, guided from within, feels far less effortful than attempting giant, overwhelming leaps. It honors the natural rhythm of integration and learning, allowing potential to consolidate at each stage before moving to the next. It embodies the wisdom that great journeys are completed one step at a time, with inner guidance illuminating the path just ahead. Furthermore, as potential unfolds authentically from within, the very definition of success may evolve. The alignment of the subconscious often leads individuals down paths less traveled, towards expressions of success that prioritize inner fulfillment, contribution, and authentic self-expression over conventional external markers like wealth or status alone. Success becomes less about achieving a predetermined societal benchmark and more about the ongoing, fulfilling process of actualizing one's unique potential. This might manifest as mastery in a niche field, a creative contribution, a unique way of serving others, or simply a life lived with deep integrity and joy. An aligned subconscious supports the discovery and pursuit of this personalized definition of success, providing the inner conviction needed to honor one's own path, even if it looks different from others. True, effortless success in this context is the natural outward expression of a life lived in harmony with one's deepest potential. In essence, understanding potential as an innate quality, learning to recognize its whispers through enhanced intuition and clear perception, trusting its natural unfolding over forced outcomes, seeing beyond limiting self-labels, nurturing curiosity, embracing incremental progress, and allowing for a personalized definition of success. These are all facets of engaging with the subconscious key to effortless growth. It shifts the focus from striving to get potential to creating the inner conditions that allow the potential already present to emerge and flourish. It is a cooperative venture with the inherent intelligence and drive towards expression that lies at the core of being, guided by the wisdom of the aligned subconscious. This cooperation transforms the journey of growth from a demanding climb into a graceful, ever-expanding dance. Understanding how potential unfolds naturally leads to a simple but very deep truth. The world experienced on the outside often mirrors the world held on the inside. What happens in the mind, the thoughts that are thought often, the feelings that are felt strongly, the deep ideas that are believed, plays a very big part in shaping the life that is lived. It's a bit like a movie projector. The film running inside the projector determines the picture seen on the screen. If the film is full of sad scenes, the movie on the screen will be sad. If the film is full of happy adventures, the movie will be exciting and joyful. The inner world of thoughts and feelings is like that film, and the outer world of experiences is like the screen. Changing the inner film gently and consistently can lead to a different movie appearing in life. Another way to understand this is to think of the mind, especially the deep, quiet part of the mind, as a garden. Thoughts are like seeds. Every thought planted in this garden has the potential to grow. If the seeds planted are mostly positive thoughts, thoughts of kindness, thoughts of capability, thoughts of gratitude, thoughts that things can work out well, then the garden will tend to produce beautiful flowers and nourishing fruits. These represent good experiences, successful outcomes, and feelings of happiness. However, if the seeds planted are mostly negative thoughts, thoughts of worry, thoughts of fear, thoughts of anger, thoughts that things will go wrong, thoughts of I can't, then the garden will tend to grow weeds and thorns. These represent difficult experiences, lack of success, and feelings of unhappiness. This growing happens quietly, often unseen at first, just like seeds sprouting underground. The key is to keep gently planting more good seeds, day by day. Feelings, too, have a powerful role in this inner garden and in shaping outer experiences. Feelings carry a kind of energy, almost like a magnet. Strong feelings, especially ones held consistently, tend to attract experiences that match that feeling. When there is a frequent inner feeling of joy, contentment, or peace, it's like sending out a signal that draws more situations, people, and opportunities that bring forth those same good feelings. It creates a positive cycle. Conversely, if the inner world is often filled with feelings of anxiety, frustration, or resentment, that energy tends to attract circumstances that seem to justify those feelings, creating a difficult cycle. It's the simple idea that like attracts like. Cultivating gentle, positive feelings, even starting small, by noticing simple things to appreciate, helps to tune this inner magnet to attract more positivity and ease into life. It's not about forcing a happy face, but about genuinely nurturing warmth and peace inside whenever possible. Deeply held ideas about oneself and the world, often called beliefs, are another crucial part of this inner world. Beliefs act like invisible eyeglasses worn constantly. They color and shape everything that is seen and experienced, usually without any conscious awareness of their presence. If the glasses are tinted with beliefs like life is hard, or I'm not lucky, or good things don't happen to me, then the world will tend to look and feel that way. Opportunities might be missed, positive events might be distrusted, and difficulties might seem to confirm the belief. However, if the glasses are clearer, or perhaps tinted with beliefs like life is full of possibilities, or I can learn and grow, or good things are possible, then the world will appear quite different. Opportunities become more visible, challenges seem more manageable, and positive experiences feel more natural. The power lies in the fact that these belief glasses operate automatically, filtering perception constantly. Gently cleaning these glasses, or choosing to try on a pair with a clearer, more helpful tint. By questioning old limits and introducing new possibilities, can fundamentally change how life is experienced, making success feel more accessible. Changing these inner elements, the thoughts, the feelings, the beliefs, is not about engaging in a fierce battle inside. Force often creates more resistance. The most effective way is usually gentle and patient. It's like tending that garden. One doesn't fight the weeds by tearing frantically at them, which can disturb the soil and harm good plants. Instead, the focus is on consistently nurturing the desired plants, providing good soil, positive beliefs, water, good feelings, sunlight, clear intentions, and gently removing weeds, letting go of negative thoughts as they are noticed without struggle. It means consciously choosing to turn attention towards a slightly better feeling thought when a negative spiral starts. It means taking moments to appreciate small good things. It involves gently introducing new, more positive ideas about oneself and the world, and letting them sink in over time. These small, kind, consistent interactions accumulate, gradually transforming the inner landscape. Letting go is a vital part of this gentle change. Often, there's a tendency to hold on very tightly to worries, to desired outcomes, or to the need to control exactly how things should happen. This tightness, this clinging, is like walking around with clenched fists. When hands are tightly closed, they cannot receive anything new. Similarly, when the mind is clenched with worry or forceful striving, it blocks the easy flow of good things. Letting go means consciously relaxing that inner grip. It means trusting the process a bit more. It means setting an intention for something good, planting the seeds for it, and then opening the hands, metaphorically speaking, allowing the outcome to unfold in its own time, and perhaps in unexpected, helpful ways. It's releasing the burden of having to figure everything out and force everything to happen. This openness creates space for ease, for synchronicity, for effortless solutions to appear. So when talking about effortless success and growth, it doesn't mean lying back and doing nothing at all. Actions are usually still part of the process, but effortless describes the asterisk quality of the action and the feeling behind it. It means actions that feel inspired, smooth, and effective, rather than forced, draining, or full of struggle. Like a water flowing down a river, it moves powerfully, it carves landscapes, but it follows the path of least resistance. It flows. When the inner world, thoughts, feelings, beliefs, is aligned with the desired direction, internal obstacles are removed. It's like clearing the rocks out of the riverbed. Actions then tend to flow more naturally and powerfully towards the goal. The effort involved feels less like pushing against a barrier and more like participating in a natural current. In summary, the simple yet profound key lies in paying gentle, consistent attention to the inner world. Understanding that thoughts act like seeds, feelings act like magnets, and beliefs act like glasses helps in cultivating this inner space more consciously. By choosing slightly better thoughts, nurturing gentle positive feelings, questioning limiting beliefs, letting go of forceful striving, and trusting the process, the inner world begins to shift. As the inside changes, the outside world tends to reflect that change. Success feels less like a battle to be won and more like a natural result of inner harmony. Growth feels less like a painful struggle and more like the simple, easy unfolding of a flower in a well-tended garden. It all starts within, nurtured gently and patiently. As we understand more about how the inner world of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs shapes our outer life, it becomes helpful to look at common inner obstacles that can make growth feel difficult instead of easy. Two of the biggest obstacles often felt are fear and doubt. Learning to relate to these feelings gently can make a very big difference in allowing success to unfold more smoothly. Simple ways of looking at these feelings can reduce their power. Fear can often feel like a huge, solid wall blocking the way forward. It can seem very powerful and real, but it might be helpful to think of fear differently, perhaps like a shadow. A shadow can look very large and scary, especially in dim light. However, a shadow itself has no real substance. It's simply an area where light is being blocked. Fear often works like that. It seems biggest when the light of awareness, hope, or positive focus is blocked by worried thoughts. Instead of trying to fight the shadow directly, which doesn't work, the simpler way is often to bring more light. Turning attention, even slightly, towards possibilities, towards strengths, towards moments of past courage, or towards a sense of inner peace, acts like turning on a light. As the light increases, the shadow of fear naturally tends to shrink. It's less about battling fear and more about cultivating the inner light that makes fear less dominant. Doubt is another common feeling that can hinder easy progress. Doubt can feel like a thick fog rolling in, making the path ahead unclear and uncertain. It clouds judgment, makes decisions feel heavy, and can lead to feeling stuck or confused. Just like real fog, doubt can seem dense and all-encompassing when inside it. But fog is not a permanent state. It does lift. Bringing warmth and light can help. Inner warmth can mean practicing self-kindness, offering oneself reassurance instead of criticism during times of uncertainty. Inner light can mean gently shifting focus away from the vast unknown and onto what is asterisk known, what is asterisk possible, or simply the very next small step that feels manageable. It's okay not to see the whole path through the fog, trusting that it's possible to navigate one step at a time, even with limited visibility, helps to move through periods of doubt without getting completely stopped by them. As small steps are taken, clarity often increases, and the fog begins to dissipate naturally. It is also very helpful to learn to make friends with all feelings, even the uncomfortable ones like fear, doubt, or sadness. Often, there is a tendency to push these feelings away, to judge them as bad, or to think something is wrong for having them. This struggle against feelings often makes them stronger and more persistent. A gentler approach is simply to acknowledge their presence without judgment. Notice the feeling, there is fear here, or doubt is present right now, much like noticing a cloud passing in the sky. Recognize that feelings are temporary visitors. They come, and eventually they go. They are signals, perhaps indicating an old belief has been triggered, or that there's a need for reassurance. But they are not the whole truth of who one is. Simply allowing a feeling to be present, observing it with a little bit of kindness and curiosity, often reduces its intensity and allows it to pass through more quickly. Acceptance, not resistance, is key. Facing fears doesn't always require huge acts of heroism. In fact, trying to take on too much fear at once can be overwhelming and reinforce the sense of limitation. Effortless growth often involves small, consistent acts of bravery, like getting into cold water. It's easier to start by dipping a toe in, then a foot, then slowly wading deeper. Facing fears can be like that. Identify one very small step that feels just slightly outside the comfort zone, a step related to the feared situation, and take just that small step. Each tiny act of courage, however insignificant it might seem, builds a little more confidence. It communicates to the subconscious mind that the fear is manageable. Over time, these small braveries add up, gradually expanding the comfort zone and shrinking the territory ruled by fear. It's a gentle, sustainable way to build courage from the inside out. The way one talks to oneself inside the mind is incredibly important, especially when dealing with fear and doubt. Often, there's an inner voice that is harsh, critical, or discouraging. This inner critic can amplify fear and solidify doubt, making everything feel harder. Cultivating a kinder inner voice is essential for effortless growth. It means consciously choosing to speak internally with encouragement, understanding, and forgiveness, much like one might speak to a dear friend who is struggling. When a mistake is made, instead of harsh judgment, offer gentle understanding. Okay, that didn't work as planned. What can be learned? When fear arises, offer reassurance. It's okay to feel scared. Let's just take one small step. Being a consistent inner ally, a source of comfort and support, builds profound inner resilience and makes it much easier to navigate challenges. A simple but powerful technique when faced with feelings of I can't is to gently shift the focus towards what can I do? When a task or goal seems overwhelming, triggering fear or doubt, the mind can get stuck on the perceived impossibility. Asking what is asterisk possible right now, or what is one tiny action I can take, redirects attention towards agency and capability, however small. It breaks the paralysis. This might involve focusing on gathering information, making a phone call, doing 5 minutes of work, or simply taking a deep breath to regain calm. Focusing on the doable edge, the immediate next step within reach, keeps momentum going and prevents being overwhelmed by the totality of the challenge. Remembering past successes, even small ones, can also help reinforce the sense of can. Finally, beneath the often noisy surface of fear and doubt, there usually exists a deeper, quieter sense of knowing or guidance. This might be called intuition, gut feeling, or inner wisdom. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It's often felt as a subtle sense of rightness, a quiet pull towards one direction, or a simple feeling of peace about a choice. Learning to listen for this quiet knowing requires cultivating inner stillness, perhaps through moments of quiet reflection, or simply pausing before reacting. Trusting this inner guide, even when it doesn't offer a complete, logical explanation, is a cornerstone of effortless navigation. It often provides clarity for the next step, even if the entire journey ahead remains unseen. This quiet knowing is aligned with one's true potential and purpose, and relying on it helps bypass the confusion generated by fear and doubt. In essence, working gently with fear and doubt involves changing the relationship with these feelings. Seeing fear as a shadow, doubt as fog, accepting all feelings kindly, taking small, brave steps, cultivating inner kindness, focusing on what is possible, and learning to trust the quiet inner knowing. These simple approaches reduce inner friction. They help clear the inner pathway, allowing the natural current of growth and success to flow with much greater ease and less struggle. It is part of tending the inner garden wisely and kindly. beyond gently handling inner obstacles like fear and doubt. The path to effortless growth is greatly helped by actively, yet softly, adding positive things to the inner world. It's like tending a garden. It's good to gently remove weeds, but it's also vital to provide sunshine, water, and good soil to help the desired plants grow strong and beautiful. Cultivating certain positive feelings and attitudes inside acts like adding these nourishing elements, making the inner ground rich and ready for success to bloom easily. One of the simplest and most powerful inner sunshines is gratitude. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It's a warm feeling inside that comes from noticing the good things already present in life, even very small ones. It could be appreciation for a quiet moment, for a simple comfort, for a kind thought, or for the ability to learn and grow. When this feeling of thankfulness is practiced regularly, it shifts the inner focus away from what might be missing or wrong, and towards what is already good and abundant. This shift in focus is very important. It's like turning towards the sun. The warmth of gratitude helps positive thoughts and beliefs take root and grow stronger in the subconscious garden. It sends a signal that life is fundamentally good, which tends to attract more experiences that match that feeling. Finding small things to feel genuinely grateful for each day acts like bathing the inner world in gentle, growth-promoting sunshine. Another helpful practice is finding joy in small, everyday things. Often, there's a tendency to wait for big achievements or major events to feel happy or satisfied. But deep, lasting contentment is often built from small moments of simple joy noticed and appreciated along the way. This could be the pleasure of a warm drink on a cool day, the beauty of a color, the comfort of a familiar routine, or the quiet satisfaction of completing a small task. These moments might seem insignificant on their own, but they act like little lights that, when noticed and collected, brighten the entire inner landscape. Allowing oneself to feel these small sparks of joy creates a positive background hum, a gentle feeling of well-being that makes the journey of growth feel lighter and more pleasant. This inner state of quiet contentment is very attractive to further success and positive experiences. It reduces the feeling of striving and replaces it with a sense of gentle appreciation for the process itself. Feeling a sense of connection is also deeply nourishing for the inner world. This means feeling connected to oneself, understanding one's own feelings and needs, but also feeling connected in a broader sense, perhaps to other people, in an abstract feeling of shared humanity, to nature, or to life itself. Feeling isolated or alone can make challenges seem bigger and growth feel harder. Cultivating an inner feeling of connection, imagining invisible threads linking oneself to sources of support, strength, or shared experience, can create a powerful sense of belonging and resilience. It fosters an inner knowing that one is not entirely separate, but part of a larger whole. This feeling of warmth, support, and belonging reduces fear and provides a stable foundation from which to grow and explore potential. It reminds the deep mind that support is available, making it easier to move forward with confidence. Gently imagining good things is another way to nurture the inner garden. This doesn't need to be complicated. It can be as simple as taking a few moments to playfully picture or feel as if asterisk, a desired outcome has already happened or is unfolding easily. The key is to connect with the positive asterisk feelings associated with that success. The feeling of relief, accomplishment, freedom, or joy. By gently evoking these feelings now, even in imagination, it helps the deep, subconscious mind become familiar and comfortable with the state of success. It's like planting picture seeds or feeling seeds of the desired future into the present moment. This isn't about forcing belief or denying reality, but about gently rehearsing the feeling of success, making it feel more natural and achievable. This positive familiarity helps the subconscious align its resources towards making that feeling a more consistent experience. Extending kindness outwards can also have a surprisingly positive effect on the inner world. Acts of kindness, generosity, or helpfulness, done without expecting anything in return, often generate warm, positive feelings inside the person doing the acting. This inner warmth contributes directly to the fertile ground needed for personal growth. It reinforces feelings of capability, connection, and goodwill. There's a sense that good things flowing out often circle back in unexpected ways. But the primary benefit here is the immediate improvement in the inner emotional climate. Cultivating a kind disposition, thinking kind thoughts, and acting kindly when possible all help to create an inner atmosphere where positive potential can thrive more easily. Patience, as mentioned before, is crucial, and it can be understood simply as trust in action. It's like a gardener who plants seeds and trusts that, with the right conditions, they will sprout and grow in their own time. The gardener doesn't dig up the seeds every day to check on them or try to force them to grow faster. Patience in personal growth means continuing to tend the inner garden, planting good thought seeds, feeling gratitude, finding small joys, and trusting that the results are developing, even if they are not yet visible. It means releasing the need for instant results and respecting the natural rhythm of unfolding. This patient trust reduces anxiety and allows the subconscious processes to work without interference. Finally, it's important to remember that rest is also a vital part of growth. Continuous effort without adequate rest can lead to burnout and actually hinder progress. The subconscious mind does much of its important work, processing experiences, integrating learning, consolidating changes during times of rest, relaxation, and sleep. Allowing for periods of quiet, downtime, and sufficient sleep without feeling guilty about not doing enough is essential for sustainable and effortless growth. Just as a garden needs the night to regenerate, the inner world needs periods of non-activity to integrate and prepare for the next phase of growth. Honoring this need for rest supports the entire process. In summary, actively but gently cultivating positive inner states is like enriching the soil of the subconscious garden. Adding the sunshine of gratitude, noticing small joys like little lights, fostering a warm sense of connection, gently imagining positive feelings, extending kindness, practicing patient trust, and allowing for necessary rest. All these contribute to creating a vibrant, fertile inner environment. In such an environment, the seeds of potential naturally sprout, grow strong, and blossom into effortless success and fulfilling growth, making the journey feel less like work and more like a natural, joyful unfolding as the inner garden begins to flourish with more positive thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. It becomes helpful to think about keeping the environment around this garden healthy and supportive. Just like a physical garden needs protection from harsh winds or too many weeds blowing in from outside, the inner garden benefits from gentle care regarding what is allowed in from the surrounding world. This doesn't mean shutting everything out, but simply becoming a little more mindful, a gentle guardian at the gate of awareness. Being a guardian at the gate means paying quiet attention to the kinds of information and influences regularly allowed into the mind. Is there a constant stream of negativity, fear-based news mentioned abstractly, without specific examples, or complaining from external sources? Regularly taking in large amounts of this kind of energy can be like letting harsh winds blow through the tender inner garden, or allowing lots of weed seeds to scatter everywhere. It can disturb the inner peace being cultivated and make it harder for positive seeds to grow. Gently choosing to limit exposure to constant negativity, perhaps by taking breaks from certain inputs or spending less time engaging with sources that consistently drain inner peace, helps protect the delicate inner environment. It's about creating a more sheltered space where positive growth can happen more easily. Another way to understand this is choosing inner food wisely. Just like the body needs nourishing food to be healthy, the mind thrives on nourishing information and ideas. Thoughts, stories, concepts, these are the food for the mind. Constantly feeding the mind with junk food, perhaps things like excessive distractions, pointless gossip mentioned abstractly, or overly critical content, can leave the inner self feeling weak, scattered, or negative. Making gentle, conscious choices to feed the mind more often with nourishing food, ideas that inspire, stories that uplift abstractly, knowledge that empowers, thoughts that encourage peace and possibility, helps build inner strength and resilience. This doesn't have to be a rigid diet, but simply leaning more towards mental nourishment helps the subconscious mind stay aligned with growth and positivity. Amidst the activities and demands of life, finding moments of inner quiet is also incredibly valuable for maintaining balance. This doesn't always mean long periods of silence, but incorporating very small pauses throughout the day can make a big difference. These pauses might be as simple as taking 2 or 3 slow, conscious breaths before starting a new task, or briefly tuning into the feeling of stillness within for just 10 seconds. These little moments act like refreshing sips of water for the inner garden on a hot day. They help to break the momentum of stress or scattered thinking, allowing a brief return to center, a quick reconnection with that quiet knowing place inside. Regularly incorporating these tiny islands of peace helps maintain inner balance and prevents the buildup of tension, making it easier to navigate challenges with grace. The connection between the inner state and outer action becomes clearer with practice. When actions arise from a place of inner alignment, from a feeling of clarity, peace, intuition, or even quiet enthusiasm, they tend to feel right and often flow with surprising ease. There's less friction, less struggle involved. Contrast this with actions taken primarily out of fear, obligation, pressure, or a sense of should. These actions often feel heavy, draining, and effortful. Learning to pause and check in with the inner feeling before jumping into action can be very helpful. Is there an inner sense of yes, a feeling of rightness or gentle willingness? Or is there a feeling of resistance, tightness, or dread? Listening to these inner signals helps guide choices towards actions that are more in flow, contributing to the feeling of effortless progress. Learning from mistakes is a natural part of growth, and approaching mistakes gently is key to maintaining forward momentum without getting discouraged. Instead of viewing mistakes as failures or reasons for harsh self-criticism, it's helpful to see them simply as learning opportunities. Like a gardener trying a new plant. If it doesn't grow well in one spot, the gardener doesn't get angry at the plant or themselves. They simply note the result. Perhaps that spot was too shady or the soil wasn't right, and use that information to try a different approach next time. Mistakes provide valuable feedback. Approaching them with curiosity, what can be learned here, rather than judgment, allows the lesson to be integrated easily. This attitude removes the fear of trying new things and makes the growth process feel much safer and more experimental. Just as it's important to learn from mistakes, it's also very helpful to actively notice and celebrate small wins along the way. Progress often happens in small steps, and acknowledging these steps reinforces the positive direction. When a small goal is reached, a challenge is navigated successfully, or a positive inner shift is noticed, take a moment to acknowledge it internally. Allow a feeling of quiet satisfaction or appreciation for the progress made. This internal pat on the back sends a positive signal to the subconscious mind, effectively saying, "This is good, let's have more of this." Celebrating small victories builds momentum, boosts confidence, and keeps motivation high without needing huge external validation. It makes the journey feel rewarding step by step. Finally, it helps to remember to keep this whole process simple. Sometimes, the idea of working with the subconscious mind or pursuing personal growth can seem very complicated, leading to overwhelm. But the essence of effortless growth often lies in simplicity. Small, simple, consistent, gentle efforts are usually far more effective than complex strategies or occasional bursts of intense effort. Focus on just one or two simple practices that feel right, perhaps noticing gratitude daily, or practicing short moments of quiet, or being kinder in self-talk. Stick with these simple things consistently. Avoid the pressure to do everything perfectly or all at once. Simplicity itself brings a sense of ease and makes the process feel manageable and sustainable over the long term. In conclusion, tending to the environment of the inner garden is just as important as planting the right seeds. Gently guarding the gate against excessive negativity, choosing nourishing mental food, finding moments of quiet, listening for the right feeling in action, learning gently from mistakes, celebrating small wins, and embracing simplicity. All these practices help create and maintain a balanced, supportive inner space. This healthy inner environment allows the subconscious mind to work most effectively, facilitating the natural, easy unfolding of potential into tangible success and ongoing growth. It's about creating harmony both within and around the inner world, creating a healthy space inside the mind, like tending a peaceful garden, naturally leads to a state often called alignment. Alignment is a simple word, but it describes a very deep and wonderful feeling inside. It's that state where everything within seems to be working together smoothly, pointing in the same direction without inner conflict or struggle. Understanding what this feels like, how it grows, and how it helps makes the idea of effortless success much clearer. It is the very heart of living and growing with ease. So, what does alignment feel like deep inside? It often brings a sense of inner peace, a quiet calm that exists underneath the surface of daily life, even when things outside are busy or challenging. It's not necessarily an absence of all thought, but the thoughts that are present feel clearer, less jumbled, less anxious. There's a feeling that things are fundamentally okay, or that they can be okay. Alignment can also feel like a sense of rightness. Decisions might feel clearer, the path forward might seem more obvious, or actions taken simply feel appropriate and true. There's less second guessing, less inner debate. It's like knowing, quietly but surely, that one is moving in a good direction. This feeling of rightness brings a sense of quiet confidence, not an arrogant pride, but a calm self-assurance that rests on inner knowing rather than outer approval. Alignment also means less inner conflict. Often, people feel pulled in different directions. One part wants one thing, another part fears it. One part believes something is possible, another part doubts it strongly. This inner tug-of-war creates stress and makes progress feel like wading through thick mud. Alignment is the opposite. It's when thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and intentions all start to line up like ducks in a row, all heading the same way. The thought says yes, the feeling says yes, the deep belief supports it, and the body feels ready and willing. This inner harmony is incredibly powerful. It conserves energy, reduces stress, and makes action feel much more natural and focused. For example, an orchestra where all the instruments are perfectly in tune and playing the same beautiful piece of music together. That's a little like the feeling of inner alignment, or a well-oiled machine where all the parts mesh together smoothly, working efficiently and without friction. Alignment brings that kind of smooth, harmonious functioning to the inner world. There's a sense of being centered, solid, and whole. This state of alignment doesn't usually happen overnight. It's not like flipping a switch from off to on. It's more like a path that becomes clearer and wider the more it is walked. Alignment deepens gradually through all the gentle, consistent practices discussed before. Every time a limiting belief is softened, every time a kind thought replaces a harsh one, every time a moment of gratitude is felt, every time fear is met with gentle courage, the alignment grows a little stronger. Each small, positive choice made in the inner world contributes to this deepening harmony. It's like tuning that musical instrument more and more finely. At first, the notes might be rough, but with patient, consistent tuning, the sound becomes clearer, more resonant, more beautiful. Revisiting core beliefs from time to time, questioning old assumptions gently, and consciously choosing perspectives that feel more expansive and supportive. These are ways to actively participate in this deepening process. Consistency is truly the secret ingredient. Small, positive inner steps, taken regularly day after day, build upon each other, slowly but surely strengthening the state of inner alignment. One of the main ways alignment communicates is through intuition, that quiet knowing from deep within. As the inner world becomes calmer and more harmonious, more aligned, the subtle voice of intuition often becomes easier to hear and trust. It's important to learn the difference between intuition and other inner voices, like fear. Fear often feels loud, urgent, anxious, and is usually accompanied by physical tension. Intuition, on the other hand, usually feels quiet, calm, clear, and neutral, even if it's guiding towards a significant change. It might come as a gentle nudge, a sudden insight that feels right, a persistent feeling about a situation, or simply a quiet sense of peace about a particular choice. Trusting this intuitive guidance is a key part of living in alignment. At first, it might require a leap of faith to follow a feeling that doesn't have a logical explanation. But as one acts on these intuitive nudges and sees positive results or avoids difficulties, trust naturally grows. This inner compass becomes a reliable guide, helping navigate life's choices with greater ease and wisdom. Alignment sharpens intuition, and trusting intuition deepens alignment. They work together beautifully. When alignment is strong, it often shows up in outer activity as a flow state. Flow is that wonderful experience of being completely absorbed in what one is doing. Time seems to disappear. The action feels effortless, smooth, and highly effective. There's no room for self-consciousness, worry, or doubt. There is simply focus and engagement in the present moment. This state often happens when skills are well matched to the challenge at hand, but it is greatly facilitated by inner alignment. When the inner world is free from conflict, clear in its intention, and trusting in its capabilities, it's much easier to become fully immersed in an activity and enter that state of effortless performance. Cultivating inner alignment through practices like mindfulness, managing beliefs, and clearing emotional clutter makes these peak experiences of flow more accessible. Flow is essentially alignment in action, a sign that the inner and outer worlds are working together in perfect harmony. It makes work feel like play and challenges, feel like exciting opportunities for expression. Another interesting aspect of alignment is its relationship with timing. When living in a state of greater inner harmony, there's often a sense that things happen at the right time. Opportunities seem to appear just when one is ready for them. The right information surfaces just when it's needed. Connections are made seemingly by chance, but turn out to be perfectly timed. This isn't necessarily about controlling time or predicting the future. It's more about being so attuned inwardly that one naturally recognizes and resonates with the right opportunities when they arise in the flow of life. An aligned mind, free from the distortions of fear and limiting beliefs, perceives possibilities and connections that might otherwise be missed. There's less need for forceful striving and impatience, replaced by a trust that when the inner conditions are right, preparedness, openness, clarity, the outer manifestations will appear in their appropriate season. It feels like cooperating with a natural rhythm, a subtle dance between inner readiness and outer circumstance, orchestrated by the wisdom of the aligned subconscious. Maintaining alignment isn't about achieving a perfect state and staying there forever. Life involves constant change, challenges arise, and moments of feeling off or misaligned are perfectly normal. The key is not to strive for unattainable perfection, but to cultivate a practice of gentle returning. It's about developing the awareness to notice when one feels out of sync, perhaps feeling stressed, conflicted, resistant, or negative. And then, gently, kindly using simple tools to come back to center. This might involve pausing to take a few deep breaths, briefly focusing on a feeling of gratitude, reminding oneself of a core positive belief, or simply offering oneself some understanding and kindness. It's like noticing the instrument has gone slightly out of tune and gently adjusting it, rather than getting frustrated or giving up. Maintaining alignment is an ongoing, compassionate practice of self-awareness and gentle course correction. It's about becoming skilled at returning home to that place of inner peace and harmony. In essence, alignment is the experience of inner harmony, a deep sense of peace, rightness, and coherence within. It deepens gradually through consistent, gentle cultivation of positive inner states and beliefs. It speaks primarily through the quiet voice of intuition and expresses itself in action through the effortless experience of flow. Alignment often brings a sense of natural timing, helping things unfold more smoothly, and maintaining it is a gentle, ongoing practice of noticing and returning to center. This state of inner alignment is the fertile ground from which effortless success and fulfilling growth naturally spring. It transforms the journey from a struggle against oneself and the world into a graceful dance of becoming. It is the core secret to unlocking potential with ease and joy, when the different parts of the mind begin to work together more harmoniously. Like a well-practiced team, the experience of life itself often starts to feel different. This inner teamwork, this growing alignment, doesn't just stay inside. It tends to ripple outwards, changing the quality of daily experiences in subtle but noticeable ways. The struggle seems to lessen, and a sense of ease begins to emerge more frequently. One of the most common results of deepening inner alignment is a feeling of greater everyday ease. Tasks that once felt heavy or difficult might begin to feel lighter, more manageable. Challenges still arise, as they are a natural part of life, but the inner reaction to them changes. There may be less immediate tension, less automatic worry. Problems might seem less like insurmountable walls and more like puzzles with potential solutions. Solutions themselves might appear more readily, sometimes popping into mind unexpectedly or arising through conversations or observations. There's a general sense of reduced friction in navigating the day. It's not that all difficulties vanish, but the internal effort required to meet them feels significantly less. Life might seem to flow a bit more smoothly, with fewer snags and less resistance felt from within. This growing ease is a direct reflection of the reduced conflict and increased harmony inside the mind. The energy previously spent on inner battles is now available for moving forward more gently. As alignment deepens, that quiet inner knowing, often called intuition, tends to become a more natural and trusted guide in everyday life. It's not necessarily about hearing voices or seeing visions, but more about paying closer attention to subtle inner feelings, hunches, or a simple sense of rightness or wrongness about choices. Decisions that used to cause prolonged agony or confusion might start to feel clearer. There might be a quiet pull towards a certain option or a subtle feeling of caution about another. Learning to recognize and honor these quiet signals becomes easier as the inner noise of conflict and fear subsides. Trust in this inner guidance grows with positive experience, noticing that following a hunch led to a good outcome, or avoiding something based on a gut feeling prevented a problem. This reliance on inner wisdom for both small daily choices and larger life directions becomes a hallmark of living in alignment. It brings a sense of confidence that doesn't depend on external advice, rooted instead in a connection to one's own deeper intelligence. Those moments of flow, where action feels completely absorbing and effortless, may also begin to happen more often and in a wider range of activities. Previously, flow might have only occurred during specific hobbies or peak performance situations. But with greater inner alignment, a sense of focused engagement and ease can start to appear even in more ordinary tasks. This could be during work, chores, conversations, or learning. It's a sign that the inner world is clear, focused, and working in harmony with the activity at hand. There is less self-consciousness, less distraction from internal chatter, allowing for a fuller engagement with the present activity, described abstractly, without focusing on the present moment itself. The skills available feel well matched to the task, and there's a sense of competence and enjoyment. The increased frequency of these flow experiences is a wonderful byproduct of reducing inner static and allowing the subconscious and conscious minds to cooperate fully on the task at hand. It makes doing things feel less like work and more like natural expression. Inner resilience also starts to feel different. It's less about gritting teeth and pushing through hardship with sheer force of will, and more about a capacity to bounce back from setbacks with greater gentleness and speed. When challenges or disappointments occur, they are still felt, but they might not trigger the same depth of despair or prolonged negativity as before. There's a quicker return to inner balance. It could be likened to a flexible tree branch that bends in the wind, but readily returns to its position once the wind passes, rather than a brittle branch that snaps under pressure. This gentle bounce comes from a stronger inner core built on positive beliefs, self-acceptance, and trust in the unfolding process. Mistakes or failures feel less like personal indictments and more like temporary events from which learning can be drawn. The emotional disturbance is less severe, and the recovery period is shorter, allowing forward momentum to resume more quickly and easily. With a clearer inner lens, polished by alignment, the world itself may start to appear different. Specifically, positive opportunities, helpful resources, or supportive connections might be noticed more readily. These things might have always been present, but the previous inner state, perhaps clouded by worry or limiting beliefs, couldn't perceive them. An aligned mind, attuned more towards possibility and positivity, naturally filters perception differently. It highlights things that resonate with growth, success, and well-being. It's like tuning a radio to a specific station. Suddenly, the music from that station becomes clear, even though it was always in the airwaves. This isn't about wishful thinking, but about the very real effect of inner state on perceptual filters. The world can seem to become more supportive, more abundant with possibilities, simply because the capacity to recognize and receive those possibilities has increased. A significant inner shift that often accompanies alignment is a reduced need for external approval or validation. When inner harmony grows, and there's a clear connection to inner guidance and a sense of inherent worth, the desperate need for praise or agreement from others tends to lessen. Success starts to be defined more by inner feelings of fulfillment, growth, and authenticity, rather than by external benchmarks or opinions. There is a growing sense of quiet self-reliance, an understanding that one's worth and path are valid regardless of outside judgment. This doesn't mean becoming isolated or uncaring about others, but simply that the center of gravity for self-esteem shifts from external to internal. This inner validation is deeply calming and freeing. It allows for more authentic choices and actions, unburdened by the constant anxiety of seeking approval. Finally, the very process of achieving goals or realizing potential begins to feel less like a hard-fought battle and more like a natural unfolding, a kind of blossoming from within. The steps needed often seem to appear just as they are required. Progress feels more organic, less forced. Obstacles might still appear, but they are met with greater resourcefulness and less panic. There's a sense of being carried by a supportive current rather than constantly swimming upstream. This feeling of natural emergence, of success, unfolding rather than being wrestled into existence, is perhaps the clearest expression of the effortless quality that comes from deep inner alignment. It reinforces trust in the process and makes the journey of growth itself a source of quiet satisfaction. In essence, the results of cultivating inner teamwork between the conscious and subconscious mind are profound and touch many areas of life. A greater sense of ease, more reliable intuition, more frequent flow states, gentler resilience, heightened perception of opportunity, increased inner validation, and a feeling of natural unfolding. These are the signs that alignment is deepening. They point towards a way of living where success and growth happen not through force and struggle, but through harmony, trust, and cooperation with the deep, wise, and powerful currents within. As the feeling of inner alignment becomes more familiar, like a quiet hum beneath the surface of things, often a shift in perspective begins to occur. The way life is viewed, the meaning found in experiences, and the response to challenges can all start to change in gentle but profound ways. This broader perspective is another beautiful result of the inner harmony that has been cultivated. It brings a sense of wisdom and peace that colors the whole experience of being. One significant shift is how challenges and difficulties are perceived. When the inner world is full of conflict and fear, challenges often appear as threatening obstacles, sources of stress, and reasons to feel defeated. But from a place of greater alignment, difficulties may start to be seen through a different lens. There might be less immediate resistance, less of a feeling of this shouldn't be happening. Instead, a quiet curiosity might arise. What can be learned here? Or how can this situation help inner resources grow stronger? Challenges might be viewed less as punishments or failures, and more as opportunities to practice patience, to develop resilience, to find creative solutions, or to deepen self-understanding. It's like realizing that climbing a hill, while effortful, is what strengthens the legs for future journeys. This change in perspective doesn't make challenges disappear, but it fundamentally alters the inner experience of them, reducing suffering and revealing their potential hidden value. The energy previously spent resisting the difficulty can now be used to learn from it. Alongside this, the feeling of connection often deepens and expands. Earlier, a sense of connection to self and others was mentioned as supportive. With further alignment, this can blossom into a broader feeling of being connected to life itself, a sense of being part of a vast, intricate web of existence. The feeling of being a small, separate self struggling alone against the world tends to lessen. In its place grows a comforting sense of belonging, a feeling of being held within something much larger than oneself. This perspective can bring immense peace. It reduces the burden of feeling personally responsible for controlling everything. There's a growing trust in the flow of life, a sense that one is participating in a larger unfolding. This feeling of interconnectedness can make compassion for oneself and others, abstractly felt, arise more naturally, fostering a sense of shared journey rather than isolated striving. Alignment also tends to foster a deeper sense of meaning and purpose in life's activities. The focus may subtly shift away from solely pursuing external achievements, like accumulating possessions or status, towards finding value in the process itself. There can be a growing appreciation for the quality of being brought to an activity, rather than just the outcome. Simple tasks might feel meaningful if done with presence and care. Contribution, learning, expressing creativity, or simply being kind might feel intrinsically rewarding, regardless of external recognition. This shift towards inner meaning brings a profound sense of satisfaction that isn't dependent on constantly achieving the next big thing. It makes life feel richer and more worthwhile, moment by moment, described abstractly. Purpose becomes less about a grand destination and more about the quality and intention embedded in the journey itself. As trust in the process deepens with alignment, attachment to specific outcomes naturally begins to loosen. While intentions are still set clearly, the desperate need for things to unfold in one particular, predetermined way tends to diminish. There's a greater openness to unexpected twists and turns, a growing trust that even detours might lead to unforeseen positive destinations. If a goal isn't met exactly as planned, or if circumstances change, there is less inner turmoil. It becomes easier to adapt, to adjust course, or to recognize that perhaps a different outcome is actually more beneficial in the long run. This non-attachment is incredibly freeing. It removes a huge amount of self-imposed pressure and anxiety, allowing one to pursue goals with dedication, but also with lightness and flexibility. It creates space for serendipity and allows the subconscious wisdom to orchestrate solutions that the conscious mind might never have considered. All of these shifts contribute to an overall feeling of increased inner freedom. Alignment helps to dissolve the invisible chains of old fears, limiting beliefs, and negative conditioning. The constant worry about judgment or the need for external approval fades into the background. Inner conflicts that used to drain energy are resolved or quieted. This creates a sense of spaciousness within, more room to breathe, more freedom to be authentic. It feels like taking off a heavy, restrictive coat that was worn for a long time without even realizing it. This inner freedom allows for more spontaneous joy, more genuine expression, and a greater capacity simply to be at ease in one's own skin. It is a liberation that arises from within and permeates the entire experience of life. With this growing freedom and connection to inner guidance, there often comes a realization that simple actions, when aligned, can have a surprisingly large impact. There might be less perceived need for grand, complicated strategies or forceful efforts. Instead, there's a growing trust in the power of small, consistent steps taken with clear intention and inner harmony. An intuitive nudge leading to a simple conversation, a small act of kindness, a focused period of work done in a state of flow. These seemingly minor actions, when originating from an aligned state, can ripple outwards and create significant positive effects. This understanding encourages a focus on the quality of inner alignment behind the action, rather than just the size or complexity of the action itself. It reinforces the principle of effortless power, achieving more with less struggle. Through quiet, consistent, aligned effort, even the feeling of gratitude can deepen and expand with alignment. Beyond being thankful for specific good things, a more profound sense of gratitude can emerge, gratitude for the entire journey, including the challenges that sparked growth. There can be appreciation for the lessons learned, for the resilience discovered, for the very process of becoming. It's a deep sense of okayness, a quiet thankfulness for the richness and mystery of life's unfolding, trusting that everything, somehow, contributes to the larger picture. This deep, pervasive gratitude becomes a constant source of inner peace and contentment, regardless of external circumstances. It is perhaps the ultimate expression of trust and harmony with the flow of existence. In summary, the journey of inner alignment brings not just personal ease and effectiveness, but often a profound shift in perspective. Challenges are reframed as teachers. A sense of connection replaces isolation. Meaning is found intrinsically. Attachment loosens its grip, bringing flexibility. Inner freedom expands significantly. The power of simple, aligned action is recognized, and gratitude deepens into an appreciation for the whole tapestry of life. This wider, wiser view is a natural consequence of harmonizing the inner world, allowing life to be experienced less as a series of problems to be solved or battles to be won, and more as a meaningful, flowing journey guided by deep inner wisdom. As the inner world continues to be tended with gentleness and consistency, a remarkable thing often begins to happen. That state of alignment, that feeling of inner harmony and peace, starts to feel less like a temporary visitor and more like a permanent resident. It gradually shifts from being a special state one tries to achieve to becoming the natural baseline, the ordinary and comfortable way of being. It's like finding the way back to a place that feels like home inside, a place that was perhaps forgotten, but feels deeply familiar and right once rediscovered. This growing sense of alignment as the new normal is a profound step on the path of effortless growth. It means less time and energy are spent trying to find peace or clarity, because they are simply present more often, like the quiet background music of life. This emerging inner stability acts much like an anchor or ballast for a ship. Life, of course, continues to present ups and downs, changing circumstances, unexpected events, both pleasant and unpleasant. However, when there is a strong core of inner alignment, these outer events tend to cause less inner turbulence. It doesn't mean becoming emotionless or indifferent. Pleasant surprises and successes are still enjoyed fully, perhaps even more so because they are met with an open heart free from excessive anxiety about losing them. Difficulties and setbacks are still encountered, but they are less likely to completely capsize the inner state. The aligned center holds steady. There's a capacity to navigate challenges with greater calmness and resourcefulness without being thrown into prolonged states of despair or reactivity. The emotional waves on the surface don't disturb the deep stillness within quite so much. This inner steadiness provides a profound sense of security that isn't dependent on controlling external circumstances. It allows for a much smoother ride through the inevitable changes of life. Growth itself starts to look and feel different from this place of stable alignment. Instead of happening in dramatic bursts followed by periods of exhaustion or backlash, growth tends to become more continuous, gentle, and organic. It's less like forcing a flower to bloom prematurely, and more like the natural, steady growth of a healthy plant reaching towards the light. Season after season, small expansions of understanding, capability, or awareness happen regularly, almost imperceptibly at times, but they accumulate steadily over the long term. There's less need for forceful striving or pushing against limits, because the inner conditions naturally support expansion. This sustainable pace of growth avoids the burnout cycles that often accompany effort based solely on willpower. Progress feels natural, almost inevitable, like a river flowing steadily towards the sea, gradually widening its banks along the way. It becomes a quiet, ongoing evolution rather than a series of stressful battles. Another benefit of deepening alignment is that the process of self-correction becomes much easier and more intuitive. When living mostly in a state of inner conflict or unawareness, it's possible to drift far off course, getting lost in negative thought patterns, unhelpful habits, or reactive emotions for long periods before even realizing it. However, from a more aligned and aware inner state, deviations from inner harmony are noticed much more quickly. There's a quicker recognition of the feeling of being off, perhaps a return of tension, worry, or inner conflict. Because the feeling of alignment is now more familiar, the contrast is more apparent. And importantly, the return to center becomes gentler and faster. It's less about harsh self-discipline and more about a simple, compassionate noticing and gentle redirection. Like an inner compass that quickly rights itself after being jostled, the aligned mind naturally seeks to return to balance. The simple tools, a conscious breath, a moment of quiet, a kind thought, remembering gratitude, are used readily and effectively to steer back towards inner peace without a big internal drama. This capacity for quick, gentle self-regulation is key to maintaining stability, the trust that was initially cultivated with conscious effort, trust in the process, trust in intuition, trust in the subconscious mind, often evolves into something deeper as alignment stabilizes. It transforms into a quiet, unshakable knowing. It's less about asterisk hoping things will work out, and more about a deep inner certainty that the asterisk are asterisk working out in their own way and own time. There's less need for constant external proof or reassurance, because the evidence lies in the consistent inner feeling of peace and the observation of life unfolding more smoothly. This deep knowing allows for even greater relaxation and letting go. It dissolves residual anxieties and fosters a profound sense of security, rooted not in outer circumstances, but in connection with the reliable wisdom and power within. It is a state of resting in the inherent rightness of the unfolding process. Consequently, that experience of effortless action, often felt during flow states, becomes much more frequent and commonplace. It ceases to be a rare peak experience and starts to become the normal way of operating in many different areas of life. Whether engaged in work, creativity, learning, or even simple daily routines, there's more often a feeling of moving with a current rather than pushing against it. Actions feel inspired from within, timing feels appropriate, and results seem to manifest with less forcing and struggle. This doesn't mean challenges vanish, but the approach to them is different, more resourceful, less resistant, often guided by intuitive solutions that arise naturally. The feeling of doing without struggling becomes the familiar signature of action taken from an aligned state. This normalization of effortless action is perhaps one of the most tangible and rewarding outcomes of sustained inner cultivation. It is important to remember, however, that maintaining this stable, aligned state doesn't suddenly require complex or difficult practices. In fact, simplicity remains the key to sustainability. The very same gentle, basic principles that helped cultivate alignment in the first place are the ones that help maintain it. Continued gentle awareness of thoughts and feelings, choosing kindness in self-talk, regularly touching base with gratitude, setting clear positive intentions, allowing for rest, and trusting the process. These simple acts, practiced consistently, are sufficient. There's no need for elaborate rituals or constant striving for perfection. The power lies in the gentle consistency of these simple inner attentions. They keep the inner garden tended, the inner compass clear, and the inner instrument finely tuned, allowing the harmony of alignment to persist naturally over time. Simplicity ensures the path remains effortless and sustainable. In essence, as inner alignment deepens and stabilizes, it brings about a fundamental shift in the experience of living. It becomes the new, comfortable normal, providing inner steadiness amidst outer change. Growth becomes a continuous, gentle unfolding. Self-correction happens more easily. Trust evolves into a deep knowing. Effortless action becomes more frequent. And all of this is sustained through simple, consistent inner practices. This stable alignment creates a foundation for a life experienced with far greater ease, resilience, joy, and a quiet sense of confidence. It allows potential to continue unfolding naturally and effectively, fulfilling the promise of truly effortless success and growth over the long and beautiful arc of the journey. It is the quiet power that sustains well-being from the inside out, that wonderfully stable state of inner alignment, the feeling of being centered, peaceful, and guided from within, is not meant to be an endpoint. It is not a final destination where growth stops. Instead, it serves as a fertile foundation, a stable platform from which a new phase of gentle, continuous expansion can begin. Achieving a sense of inner harmony is more like arriving at a high, clear plateau. The climb might become less steep, the struggle might cease, but from this vantage point, new vistas open up, revealing even wider landscapes to explore. The journey of becoming continues, but it proceeds from a place of greater ease, clarity, and inner resourcefulness. There is always more potential waiting within, more understanding to dawn, more life to experience with richness and depth. Alignment is the key that unlocks the door not just to effortless success, but to effortless ongoing evolution. One of the beautiful ways this expansion occurs is through a natural broadening and deepening of awareness. As the inner noise quiets down and the filters of perception become clearer, there's often a subtle but significant increase in understanding. This might involve a deeper understanding of oneself, motivations, patterns, true desires. It might involve seeing connections between things that were previously missed, recognizing subtle patterns in life events, or gaining insights into the nature of challenges and relationships viewed abstractly. It's like the light of awareness gradually illuminating more and more of the inner room, revealing details and connections in corners that were previously dark. This expanding awareness isn't usually dramatic or sudden. It's more often a gentle dawning, a quiet realization that brings a sense of clarity and wisdom. This growing understanding further supports alignment, creating a positive feedback loop where clarity leads to more harmony, which leads to even greater clarity. It makes navigating life feel less confusing and more guided by an inner sense of truth. Creativity, in its broadest sense, often begins to flow more freely and abundantly from a state of stable alignment. Creativity isn't just about art or music. It includes finding new solutions to problems, expressing oneself authentically, bringing fresh perspectives to situations, or simply living life with more originality and flair. When the inner channels are cleared of the blockages of fear, self-doubt, and rigid thinking, the natural creative impulse that resides within everyone has more space to emerge. Ideas might surface more readily. Solutions to challenges might appear unexpectedly, often feeling inspired rather than logically deduced. There might be a greater willingness to experiment, to try new approaches without being overly attached to outcomes, or afraid of making mistakes. It feels like a wellspring of inspiration deep inside has been tapped, allowing creative energy to flow more consistently and joyfully. This enhanced creativity brings vibrancy and resourcefulness to all areas of life, making the journey feel more dynamic and engaging. The feeling of connection, already mentioned as a source of comfort and resilience, also tends to deepen and widen significantly as alignment becomes the norm. The sense of being interconnected can expand beyond just feeling linked to immediate surroundings or familiar groups. It can grow into a profound, often unspoken feeling of unity with all of life, a sense of shared being that transcends superficial differences. This deep sense of interconnectedness naturally fosters greater empathy, understanding, and compassion, not necessarily as a deliberate effort, but as a spontaneous arising from the recognition of shared essence. The feeling of being a separate, isolated individual diminishes, replaced by a comforting and strengthening sense of being an integral part of a vast, intelligent, and fundamentally benevolent whole. This perspective shift can dissolve feelings of loneliness, reduce interpersonal friction, and bring a deep, abiding sense of peace and belonging in the world. It changes the fundamental feeling of one's relationship to everything. Furthermore, the very nature of potential begins to reveal itself as something far more vast and layered than previously conceived. Unlocking one level of capability or expressing one talent often opens the door to discovering deeper, previously hidden potentials. It's like peeling away the layers of an onion. There is always more beneath the surface. Growth in one area often fuels confidence and reveals possibilities for growth in other unexpected areas. The aligned state supports this continuous unfolding because there is less fear of failure and greater trust in the process. There is more willingness to explore these emerging potentials. The journey becomes less about reaching a fixed definition of potential and more about engaging in an ongoing, exciting process of discovery, constantly learning and becoming more. Potential is not a finite resource to be depleted, but an ever-expanding horizon that recedes gracefully as one walks towards it. Those meaningful coincidences or synchronicities, which might have seemed like rare occurrences earlier, may appear to happen with greater frequency or be noticed with greater significance as alignment stabilizes and expands. Events might line up in helpful ways. Needed resources might appear just at the right time, or chance encounters might lead to significant positive developments. From the aligned perspective, these events are often interpreted less as random luck and more as reflections of being in tune with the flow of life. They serve as encouraging feedback, confirming that the inner state is resonating harmoniously with the outer world. Recognizing these patterns reinforces trust in the unseen connections and the guiding wisdom that operates beneath the surface of everyday reality. It adds a touch of magic and wonder to the journey, reminding one of the subtle, intelligent orchestration that alignment facilitates, a natural consequence of feeling internally stable, peaceful, and abundant. Feeling enough within is often an increased generosity of spirit. When the inner well feels full, there is a natural inclination to share the overflow. This doesn't necessarily mean material wealth, but rather a generosity with kindness, compassion, encouragement, patience, or simply positive energy. There is less preoccupation with personal lack or perceived scarcity, and therefore less need to hoard resources, whether tangible or intangible. A sense of inner security allows for greater openness and warmth towards others, abstractly considered. The focus can shift subtly from what can I get to what can I contribute, or how can I help. This outward flow of positive energy often creates positive ripples, but its primary source and benefit is the enriching feeling it brings to the inner world itself, further strengthening the sense of connection and well-being. In conclusion, the state of stable inner alignment is not a static endpoint, but a dynamic gateway to continuous expansion. It opens the door to ever-widening circles of awareness, allowing for deeper understanding of oneself and life. It unleashes creative potential, allowing ideas and inspiration to flow more freely. It deepens the sense of connection, fostering a profound feeling of unity with all that is. It reveals potential not as a single peak, but as an endless series of unfolding layers. It may heighten the experience of synchronicity, reflecting a harmonious resonance with the flow of life. And it often cultivates a natural generosity of spirit, born from a place of inner fullness. This ongoing, gentle expansion turns life from a predetermined path into an ever-evolving journey of discovery, growth, and becoming, navigated with increasing ease, wisdom, and quiet joy, all powered by the harmonized energy within, as the inner state of alignment becomes not just stable, but also naturally expansive, reaching into wider awareness and deeper connection. The very quality of asterisk being begins to transform in profound ways. This isn't just about feeling better or achieving goals more easily. It touches the core sense of self and its relationship with the world. Sustained, ever-deepening alignment cultivates qualities of being that bring a quiet richness and unshakable peace to life, experienced from the inside out. These qualities are perhaps the most precious fruits of tending the inner garden with gentle persistence. One of the most fundamental shifts is the dawning and deepening of a quiet knowing of intrinsic worth. In a world that often measures value based on external achievements, possessions, appearance, or approval, it's common to develop a deep-seated feeling of needing to earn worthiness, to prove oneself constantly. This creates endless striving, anxiety, and a fear of failure. Alignment, however, leads towards a different understanding. It fosters a quiet, unwavering inner sense that worth is inherent, unconditional, and simply is asterisk. It's not dependent on performance or external validation. It's the simple recognition of the value inherent in being alive, in being conscious, in being oneself. This feeling isn't arrogant. It's deeply humble and peaceful. It dissolves the compulsive need to impress, achieve, or compete out of a sense of inadequacy. There's a profound relief in realizing one doesn't have to do anything to be fundamentally okay, to be worthy of existence. This knowing becomes a bedrock of inner security, freeing up enormous energy previously spent on trying to measure up. allowing for actions based on genuine inspiration rather than a desperate need for validation. It is a homecoming to the truth of one's own essential value. Flowing from this sense of inherent worth is often a deeper, more resilient kind of inner peace. This is not just the temporary calm that comes when external circumstances are pleasant and smooth. It is a peace that persists even amidst challenges, uncertainties, or outer turmoil. It's like the deep, still water at the bottom of the ocean that remains undisturbed even when storms rage on the surface. This peace comes from the aligned center, from the knowing of intrinsic worth, from the trust in the unfolding process, and from the reduced inner conflict. It doesn't mean difficult feelings never arise, but they arise against a background of fundamental okayness. The peace is the context. The feelings are temporary content. It allows for navigating difficulties with greater equanimity and less reactivity. There isn't the same desperate need for external conditions to be perfect in order to feel peaceful inside. This peace that passes understanding, as it's sometimes called, is a profound gift of alignment, offering a stable sanctuary within, regardless of outer weather patterns. It allows life to be met with an open heart rather than a guarded stance. With a foundation of inner worth and deep peace, living authentically becomes far more natural and effortless. Authenticity means expressing oneself truthfully, allowing inner feelings, values, and inclinations to guide choices and actions. Often, fear of judgment, the desire for approval, or limiting self-beliefs cause people to wear masks, to perform roles, or to suppress their true selves. This creates inner tension and a feeling of being fragmented or phony. Alignment, however, dissolves many of these barriers. Knowing one's worth reduces the fear of disapproval. Inner clarity makes values and desires more apparent. Trust in intuition provides guidance consistent with the true self. As a result, there's less need to pretend. Actions align more congruently with inner convictions. Words match inner feelings more closely. There's a feeling of integrity, of wholeness, of simply being oneself without apology or pretense. This authenticity is deeply satisfying. It feels like wearing clothes that fit perfectly, allowing for comfortable and natural movement through life. It also tends to foster more genuine and meaningful connections with others, abstractly considered, as honesty resonates with honesty. The fear of judgment, particularly negative judgment from others, often diminishes significantly as alignment deepens. So much energy can be consumed by worrying about what other people think, trying to anticipate criticism, or seeking validation. This fear constricts behavior and stifles authentic expression. However, when inner worth is known and felt deeply, the power of external opinions naturally lessens. It's understood that others' judgments are often reflections of their own inner state, their own beliefs and filters, rather than objective truths. While feedback might still be considered constructively, it no longer holds the same power to define one's sense of self or dictate choices. There's a growing freedom to follow one's own path, speak one's truth kindly, and make choices aligned with inner guidance without being paralyzed by the fear of disapproval. This liberation from the tyranny of external judgment is a massive source of relief and empowerment. opening up vast new possibilities for living fully and freely. Alignment also fosters a quality of simple, engaged awareness in daily life. When the mind is less cluttered with inner conflict, past regrets, or future anxieties, there's more capacity to be fully involved with whatever is happening, described abstractly, avoiding now or present. Activities are experienced more richly. Simple sensory details might be noticed more. Conversations might be heard more deeply. Work might be performed with greater focus and effectiveness. This isn't about forcing concentration, but a natural result of having fewer inner distractions. The mind wanders less because it feels more peaceful and centered where it is. This quality of engaged awareness makes life feel more vibrant and real. Even mundane tasks can take on a satisfying quality when met with this clear, calm attention. It reduces the feeling of life rushing by in a blur, allowing for a deeper appreciation of the texture of experience itself. Interestingly, a state of stable, authentic alignment can sometimes seem to exert a quiet, positive influence on the surrounding environment or interactions, often without any conscious effort or intention to influence. It's like the natural effect of a lit candle bringing light to a dark room, or a calm presence subtly soothing a tense atmosphere. When one is operating from a place of inner peace, authenticity, and quiet confidence, that inner state can resonate outwards. Interactions might feel smoother, misunderstandings might resolve more easily, or a sense of harmony might prevail more often in shared spaces, abstractly considered. This isn't about manipulating others or controlling situations. It's simply the natural consequence of radiating a coherent and positive inner energy field. It underscores the subtle but powerful interconnectedness between inner states and the subtle energetic environment. Perhaps one of the deepest qualities nurtured by sustained alignment is a growing contentment, simply with asterisk being asterisk, rather than constantly needing to asterisk do or asterisk have asterisk in order to feel okay. In a culture often focused on perpetual activity, achievement, and acquisition, it's easy to fall into restless striving. Alignment, however, reveals the profound peace and satisfaction available in moments of stillness, in quiet contemplation, in simply appreciating the miracle of existence itself. The need to constantly chase the next goal or acquire the next thing lessens as contentment is found more readily within. There's a growing ability to rest peacefully in the state of being, finding joy and fulfillment not just in accomplishment, but in the simple, profound reality of being alive and aware. This doesn't mean ambition disappears, but it becomes tempered with a deep sense of inner sufficiency, making the pursuit of goals less driven by lack and more by joyful inspiration. In summary, the path of aligning with the subconscious for effortless growth leads ultimately to a transformation in the very quality of being. It fosters a deep knowing of inherent worth, independent of external factors. It cultivates a resilient inner peace that endures amidst life's changes. It allows for natural expression of authenticity, freeing one from masks and pretense. It significantly reduces the fear of judgment, liberating self-expression. It enhances the capacity for engaged awareness, enriching the experience of life. It can even create a quiet, positive influence through its natural resonance, and it reveals the profound contentment available simply in the state of being. These qualities represent the deepest rewards of the journey, creating a life lived with quiet confidence, profound peace, authentic joy, and effortless grace. This is the true success born from inner harmony. As we journey deeper into understanding how inner alignment unlocks effortless growth and success, it becomes helpful to revisit and reflect upon the core principles that underpin this entire gentle process. These are not complicated rules, but simple, profound truths about how inner change happens most effectively and sustainably. They are like constant, quiet companions on the path, guiding the way and ensuring the journey itself feels as rewarding as any destination reached. Embracing these principles fully allows the subconscious mind to become the powerful, willing ally it is meant to be. First and foremost is the immense power found in gentleness. Throughout this exploration, the emphasis has consistently been on gentle shifts, kind self-talk, patient cultivation, and soft acceptance. This is because the deep subconscious mind often resists force, trying to batter down limiting beliefs with sheer willpower, or harshly criticizing oneself for perceived flaws, usually creates more tension, more inner conflict, and strengthens the very patterns one wishes to change. Gentleness, however, works differently. It bypasses resistance, offering kindness to oneself, especially during difficult moments, soothes the inner system and creates safety, making change feel less threatening. Gently shifting focus towards a better feeling thought, rather than wrestling with a negative one, allows old patterns to fade naturally from lack of attention. Patience with the process avoids creating stressful urgency that hinders organic growth. Gentleness is not weakness. It is profound wisdom in action. It is like water, which is soft and yielding, yet over time can smoothly shape the hardest stone. Cultivating a consistently gentle approach towards one's inner world is perhaps the single most important key to making this path truly effortless and sustainable. It ensures that the journey of growth is nurturing, not damaging. Trust is another foundational element, the very air that this effortless path breathes. Trust needs to be cultivated in multiple dimensions. There is trust in the deep wisdom and power of the subconscious mind itself, trusting that it has the resources, creativity, and capacity to navigate towards desired outcomes once given clear, positive direction. There is trust in the unfolding process of life, trusting that things can work out, that challenges contain lessons, and that there is an underlying intelligence or benevolent order, however conceived abstractly, guiding the flow. There is trust in oneself, trust in one's inherent worth, resilience, and ability to learn and grow. And there is trust in the quiet voice of intuition, trusting those subtle inner nudges and feelings as reliable guidance. Cultivating this multifaceted trust is an ongoing practice. It involves consciously choosing to lean into trust, especially when fear or doubt arise. It means noticing evidence, however small, that supports trustworthiness. It means acting on intuitive guidance even when it feels uncertain. Trust is the antidote to fear and resistance. It allows one to relax the inner grip of control, to open up to possibilities, and to allow the subconscious mechanisms of growth and attraction to function without interference. Living from a place of deep trust changes everything. It replaces anxious striving with calm confidence. Patience flows naturally from trust. Patience, in this context, is not passive resignation or bored waiting. It is an active expression of wisdom, an understanding and acceptance of the natural rhythms of growth. Just as a gardener knows that seeds need time to germinate unseen beneath the soil, and that plants follow seasonal cycles, the wise cultivator of the inner world understands that subconscious shifts and outer manifestations also have their own organic timing. Trying to force results prematurely, constantly digging up the seeds to check for progress, or becoming discouraged by the perceived lack of instant change only disrupts the delicate unfolding. Patience involves continuing the gentle inner work, tending the soil of belief, watering with positive feelings, providing the light of clear intention, while trusting that growth is asterisk happening, even when invisible. It respects the necessary periods of gestation and integration. Patience allows the subconscious mind the time it needs to rewire patterns, build new connections, and orchestrate circumstances. It replaces the stress of impatience with the quiet strength of knowing that everything unfolds in its perfect time. This deep patience is a profound form of wisdom in action. Keeping the focus primarily on the inner world is another crucial principle. While goals and desired outcomes often relate to the outer world, the leverage point for effortless change always lies within. The real work is the consistent, gentle tending of the inner garden, observing and refining thoughts, cultivating positive feelings, examining and upgrading beliefs, strengthening the sense of alignment. Chasing outer results directly, without addressing the underlying inner state, is often like trying to change the reflection in a mirror without changing the object itself. It leads to struggle and frustration. By focusing attention primarily on cultivating inner harmony, clarity, positivity, and trust, the outer world naturally begins to reflect these changes back. Success, well-being, and positive circumstances become the natural consequence, the outward manifestation of a well-tended inner state. This doesn't mean neglecting outer actions, but ensuring that actions arise from and are guided by an aligned inner source. Maintaining this gentle inner focus is key to ensuring that efforts are directed where they have the most profound and lasting impact. The principle of simplicity provides the pathway to sustainability on this journey. The concepts discussed, alignment, subconscious power, beliefs, feelings, can seem deep, but the practices involved are fundamentally simple. Moments of quiet awareness, gentle shifts in thought, choosing kindness, feeling gratitude, setting clear intentions, taking small, guided steps, breathing consciously, resting adequately, trusting deeply. These are not complex techniques requiring years of study. Their power lies not in their complexity, but in their gentle consistency. Trying to incorporate too many complicated methods at once can lead to overwhelm and abandonment of the process altogether. Embracing simplicity means choosing one or two basic practices that resonate and committing to them gently and regularly. Simplicity makes the path feel manageable, accessible, and sustainable over the long term. It ensures that the journey towards effortless growth doesn't itself become another source of effort and stress. Often, the most profound shifts come from the simplest tools applied with consistent, loving attention. Letting go remains a continuous practice throughout this journey. It's not something done once, but an ongoing process of release. There is the letting go of old, limiting beliefs as new, more expansive ones are embraced. There is the letting go of past hurts or resentments that drain energy and keep one anchored in negativity. There is the letting go of attachment to specific outcomes, trusting the process to deliver what is truly best. There is the letting go of the need to control everything and everyone. There is the letting go of fear and worry, consciously choosing trust instead. Each act of letting go creates space within space for peace, space for joy, space for new possibilities, space for the subconscious to work its magic unimpeded. It is like continually clearing out clutter from a room, allowing fresh air and light to enter. This ongoing practice of release lightens the inner load, reduces resistance, and allows life energy to flow more freely. Finally, embracing the journey itself as the reward brings profound peace and fulfillment. While goals are useful for direction, placing all happiness and satisfaction solely on achieving a future destination can lead to constant dissatisfaction with the here and now, abstractly considered. The effortless path encourages finding joy, meaning, and value in the process of becoming, appreciating the lessons learned, celebrating the small steps of progress, finding contentment in the simple act of tending the inner garden, recognizing the beauty in the unfolding. This shifts the entire experience. Growth is no longer just a means to an end, but a rich and rewarding journey in its own right. When the process itself becomes fulfilling, the pressure on outcomes diminishes, paradoxically making positive outcomes even more likely to occur naturally and easily. Satisfaction becomes a companion along the way, not just a prize at the finish line. These core principles, unwavering gentleness, deep trust, wise patience, dedicated inner focus, liberating simplicity, continuous letting go, and appreciating the journey, are the golden threads that weave through the fabric of effortless success and growth. They are not rigid rules, but gentle reminders, guiding stars to navigate by. Living more consistently from these principles allows the powerful subconscious mind to function optimally, supports deepening alignment, and turns the path of personal evolution into a graceful, sustainable, and deeply fulfilling dance with life, guided from the quiet wisdom within. They are the essence of cooperating with the natural flow of becoming. As this exploration draws towards a gentle pause, it's valuable to gather the threads and appreciate the effortless path, not merely as a collection of ideas or techniques, but as a fundamental way of asterisk being asterisk. It is a shift from living primarily from the surface level of conscious effort, struggle, and reaction, towards living from a deeper place of inner harmony, trust, and quiet guidance. This way of being doesn't require constant vigilance or complex maneuvers. Rather, it becomes increasingly natural, integrated into the very fabric of existence, like learning to breathe deeply and calmly until it becomes the body's preferred rhythm. It is a return to an innate state where growth happens organically, success unfolds gracefully, and life is met with greater peace and resilience, all sourced from the quiet, powerful wisdom held within the subconscious depths. This integrated state is the culmination of consistently applying the simple principles of gentleness, trust, patience, inner focus, simplicity, and letting go, allowing them to reshape the inner landscape into one that naturally supports ease and flourishing. The power that fuels this effortless way of being is often misunderstood because it is typically quiet, subtle, and operates largely unseen. It is not the loud, forceful power of striving and pushing, but the immense, quiet power of the aligned subconscious mind working in harmony with conscious intention. Consider the quiet power of plant roots growing steadily underground, capable of breaking through rock over time, or the silent, irresistible power of the tides, governed by unseen forces. The subconscious mind, when aligned and free from inner conflict, possesses this kind of deep, quiet, pervasive power. It works tirelessly behind the scenes, organizing information, guiding intuition, managing energy levels, influencing perceptions, attracting resonant experiences, and facilitating action in ways that often feel magical or serendipitous, yet are simply the natural result of inner coherence. Trusting and cooperating with this quiet inner power, rather than relying solely on the limited force of conscious willpower, is fundamental to the effortless path. It allows for profound changes to unfold with grace, often bypassing the need for exhausting struggle. This quiet power is always available, waiting to be accessed through alignment and trust. One of the most beautiful results of living more consistently from this aligned inner state is the emergence of sustainable well-being. So often, happiness or peace seem fleeting, dependent on external circumstances being just right. A success brings temporary joy, but then anxiety about maintaining it arises. A peaceful period is enjoyed, but then worry about future challenges clouds the calm. The effortless path, however, cultivates well-being from the inside out, because peace, contentment, and a sense of worth are rooted internally in aligned beliefs, self-acceptance, and trust. They become far less vulnerable to the constant fluctuations of the outer world. This doesn't mean immunity from life's difficulties, but it fosters a resilient core that allows one to navigate those difficulties without losing fundamental inner balance. The well-being generated from within is renewable and self-sustaining. It avoids the boom and bust cycles of externally driven happiness and the burnout that often accompanies relentless striving based on inner lack. It is a quiet, steady flame within, providing warmth and light regardless of the external weather. This inner alignment also fosters a growing sense of being in harmony with the larger flow of life itself. There is less of a feeling of being a separate individual fighting against the current, trying to impose one's will on a resistant world. Instead, a sense of cooperation emerges, cooperating with circumstances, cooperating with timing, cooperating with the quiet guidance of intuition. There's a greater willingness to accept what is as the starting point, without wasting energy on resistance or complaint, and then taking aligned action from that place of acceptance. It feels less like forcing things and more like participating in a larger dance, responding gracefully to the music that life plays. This trust in the larger flow, this willingness to dance rather than fight, removes enormous amounts of stress and struggle. It allows life energy to move through more freely, often leading to outcomes that are far better and more appropriate than could have been meticulously planned by the conscious mind alone. It is a state of harmonious participation. Crucially, this path of alignment does not lead to conformity or a loss of individuality. On the contrary, it is the very foundation upon which true, authentic individuality can blossom. By clearing away the layers of conditioning, fear, and limiting beliefs, alignment allows the unique potential residing within each person to emerge and express itself. Success becomes less about fitting into external molds or achieving generic goals, and more about discovering and living out one's own unique purpose, talents, and passions. The journey becomes deeply personal. The aligned subconscious supports this unique expression, guiding towards paths and opportunities that resonate with the core self. There is less comparison with others and more celebration of one's own distinctive gifts and journey. Effortless growth ultimately leads to becoming more fully and authentically oneself, contributing uniquely to the world in a way that feels both fulfilling and natural. Underpinning this entire way of being is the foundational experience of connection. The deep knowing that one is not truly separate, connected intrinsically to one's own deep wisdom, connected abstractly to the web of life and other beings, connected to a source of quiet power, provides the safety and security needed to let go of fear and embrace growth. This sense of connection dissolves feelings of isolation, which are often at the root of anxiety and striving. It fosters compassion, understanding, and a sense of shared purpose, abstractly felt. It provides an unshakable foundation of support, reminding the deep mind that it is held, resourced, and part of something vast and meaningful. Remembering and nurturing this feeling of connection through practices like gratitude, kindness, and quiet contemplation reinforces the entire structure of alignment and well-being. It is the ground upon which the effortless path unfolds. Finally, it is essential to hold the understanding that this journey of alignment and growth is open-ended, a path of infinite possibility. There's no final summit to reach where the process ends. Alignment itself opens doors to deeper alignment. Unfolding one layer of potential reveals countless more layers beneath. Expanding awareness continually opens up new perspectives and understandings. Life approached from this state of inner harmony becomes a continuous adventure of gentle discovery and becoming. There's always more to learn, more to experience, more ways to express one's unique essence. Maintaining a sense of curiosity, openness, and wonder allows this ongoing evolution to proceed joyfully and gracefully. The effortless path is not about arriving at a fixed destination, but about embracing the perpetual, beautiful unfolding of potential that alignment makes possible. The possibilities are truly limitless when guided by the quiet wisdom and powered by the harmonious energy within. Therefore, the invitation is simply to continue embracing the gentle principles that support this way of being, to meet oneself and the process with kindness, to cultivate trust in the deep mind and the flow of life, to practice patience, knowing that growth follows natural rhythms, to keep the focus gently on nurturing the inner world, to cherish simplicity in practice, to continue the liberating act of letting go, and to find joy and meaning not just in outcomes, but in the unfolding journey itself. By continuing to gently tend the inner garden, the subconscious mind remains a powerful and willing partner, allowing life to blossom with ever-increasing ease, grace, wisdom, and quiet fulfillment. The path unfolds naturally from within, one gentle step at a time, revealing the profound truth that the greatest success is often found with the least amount of struggle, guided by the silent key of inner harmony. Continuing the exploration of the aligned state, it can be helpful to consider the subtle nature of the energies involved. Thoughts and feelings are not just fleeting things happening inside the head. They seem to carry their own quality, their own subtle vibration or energy. Understanding this adds another layer to appreciating why tending the inner world has such a profound effect. Positive thoughts, thoughts of kindness, possibility, gratitude, hope, tend to feel light and expansive. They carry an energy that lifts, opens, and encourages. Thinking these thoughts regularly helps to create an inner atmosphere that feels bright and clear. Conversely, negative thoughts, thoughts of fear, anger, resentment, lack, criticism, tend to feel heavy and contractive. They carry an energy that pulls down, closes off, and discourages. Dwelling consistently on these kinds of thoughts contributes to an inner atmosphere that feels dense, uncomfortable, or stuck. Recognizing that thoughts themselves possess a kind of energetic quality encourages a gentle awareness and a soft preference towards cultivating those thoughts that feel lighter, brighter, and more aligned with growth and well-being. It's not about fighting thoughts, but about gently choosing which kinds of thoughts to water and nurture within the inner garden, knowing they influence the overall inner climate. Feelings often carry an even stronger and more palpable energy than thoughts. Deep feelings like joy, love, in a universal sense, peace, and compassion vibrate with a high, clear, and vibrant quality. Being in these feeling states fills the inner world with a powerful, positive energy that feels inherently good and supportive. This high-frequency energy naturally promotes healing, creativity, and a sense of connection. On the other hand, strong negative emotions like intense fear, deep-seated anger, chronic bitterness, or persistent despair carry a much lower, denser energetic signature. These feelings, when allowed to dominate the inner landscape for long periods, can create a heavy, stagnant internal environment that makes growth feel difficult and life seem burdensome. The overall vibe or energetic atmosphere within is largely determined by the dominant feelings held over time. Therefore, gently cultivating positive feeling states through gratitude, appreciation of small joys, acts of kindness, or focusing on feelings associated with desired outcomes is a powerful way to raise the inner energetic frequency. This makes the inner world a more harmonious and inviting place for success and well-being to take root and flourish. It's about consciously tuning the inner emotional radio to clearer, more uplifting stations whenever possible, gently and patiently. Alignment itself can be understood as a state of energetic coherence and harmony, thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and intentions are all pointing in the same direction. Without inner conflict, the various inner energies combine constructively. Instead of canceling each other out or creating friction, they resonate together, amplifying each other and creating a smooth, strong, and stable overall energy field within. This harmonious inner resonance feels like peace, centeredness, quiet confidence, and effortless power. It's like multiple musical notes sounding together to create a beautiful, resonant chord rather than a jarring dissonance. This coherent inner energy state is inherently stable and resilient. It provides the foundation for clear intuition, inspired action, and the natural attraction of positive experiences. Cultivating alignment through all the gentle means discussed is essentially the process of bringing one's inner energies into greater harmony and coherence, creating a powerful, positive internal resonance. This concept of inner resonance connects directly to the principle of like attracts like. Viewed now from an energetic perspective, a harmonious, coherent, positive inner energy field naturally tends to resonate with, and therefore attract or notice, similar energies and experiences in the wider world, considered abstractly, just as a tuning fork will vibrate when another tuning fork of the same frequency is struck nearby. An inner state vibrating with peace and possibility will naturally attune perception to notice peace and possibility externally. It will tend to draw forth circumstances, people abstractly considered, and opportunities that match its own frequency. Conversely, an inner state dominated by discordant energies like fear or lack will tend to resonate with and perceive more experiences that seem to confirm fear and lack. This isn't a mystical punishment, but a simple principle of resonance. By consciously working to cultivate a higher, more harmonious inner energy state through alignment, one naturally begins to attract and experience more outer circumstances that reflect that inner harmony. It makes the journey towards success feel less like fighting against the world and more like flowing with a supportive universal current. Managing this inner energy is not about forceful control, but follows the same principles of gentleness already explored. It involves gently choosing thoughts that feel better and more expansive. It means nurturing positive feelings through appreciation and kindness. It requires questioning and softening beliefs that create dense, negative energy patterns. It includes setting clear, positive intentions that direct energy purposefully. It means practicing gratitude, which instantly lifts the inner energetic state. It involves spending time abstractly in ways or with influences that feel uplifting rather than draining. It's a continuous, gentle process of cultivating a higher, clearer, more harmonious inner vibration through mindful choices about where attention is placed and what inner states are nurtured. It is like being a skillful conductor of one's own inner orchestra, gently guiding the different sections, thoughts, feelings, beliefs, to play together in beautiful harmony, creating a powerful and resonant symphony within. Principle that energy follows attention is absolutely central to managing the inner energetic state. Whatever is held consistently in the focus of awareness receives a flow of inner energy, making it stronger and more dominant in the inner landscape. If attention is habitually focused on problems, worries, past grievances, or potential failures, then energy flows to those patterns, reinforcing them and making them feel more real and powerful. This can create a downward spiral energetically. However, if attention is gently but consistently directed towards possibilities, solutions, gratitude, strengths, desired feelings, and positive intentions, then energy flows towards those patterns, nourishing them and helping them grow stronger. This creates an upward spiral energetically. The simple, conscious, gentle direction of attention is perhaps the most powerful tool available for shaping the inner energy field and consequently influencing outer experience. It requires mindful awareness, noticing where attention is currently placed and gently redirecting it again and again towards that which feels more aligned, positive, and life-affirming. Protecting this carefully cultivated inner energy state is also important for maintaining alignment and ease. Just as one might protect a physical garden from pests or harsh weather, it's wise to be gently mindful of influences that consistently drain or disrupt inner harmony. Constant exposure to excessive negativity, fear-mongering, cynicism, or interactions, abstractly considered, that feel consistently depleting, can lower the inner energetic vibration and make it harder to maintain peace and positivity. This doesn't mean avoiding all challenges or difficult topics, but developing a discerning awareness about the quality of energy one regularly consumes or engages with. It might involve consciously choosing more uplifting media, spending more time in activities that feel restorative, or setting gentle boundaries around interactions that consistently feel draining. It's about honoring the importance of the inner state and taking simple, practical steps to safeguard its coherence and positivity, ensuring the inner wellspring remains clear and vibrant. In essence, understanding the subtle energies associated with thoughts and feelings provides another valuable perspective on the effortless path. Recognizing that positive thoughts and feelings carry a light, expansive energy, while negative ones feel heavy and contractive, encourages gentle cultivation of the positive. Achieving alignment creates a harmonious inner energy field, a coherent resonance that feels peaceful and powerful. This inner resonance naturally tends to attract and perceive similar harmonious experiences from the world, following the principle of like attracts like. Managing this inner energy happens gently, primarily through the conscious direction of attention towards desired states and away from undesired ones. Protecting this inner energy from excessive negativity helps maintain stability by becoming more aware of and gently guiding these subtle inner energies. The journey towards effortless success and growth becomes even more nuanced, effective, and aligned with the deep, quiet power that orchestrates positive change from within. It is about becoming a conscious steward of one's own inner energetic climate. As we reach the culmination of this extended reflection on the subconscious key to effortless success and growth, it feels right to consider the gentle, far-reaching effects of living from a place of sustained inner alignment. The benefits are not solely personal. The harmony cultivated within naturally tends to create positive ripples that extend outwards in subtle yet meaningful ways. Living authentically and peacefully becomes, in itself, a quiet contribution to the world, demonstrating a different way of being that contrasts with struggle and strife. When inner peace, clarity, and a sense of connection become the established baseline, this inner state often radiates outwards subtly. Interactions with others, considered abstractly, may become smoother, marked by greater patience, understanding, and kindness, simply because those qualities are more abundant within. A calm presence can sometimes have a naturally soothing effect on tense situations without any conscious effort to control or manipulate. Authenticity can encourage others to be more authentic themselves. This isn't about setting out to change the world or influence others directly, but recognizing that the inner state inevitably colors one's presence and interactions. Like a pebble dropped into a still pond, a life lived from inner harmony creates gentle, positive ripples that spread outwards naturally. This understanding adds another layer of meaning to the importance of tending the inner garden. Its fruits nourish not only oneself, but potentially the wider environment in quiet ways. Furthermore, this highlights that contribution to the world isn't limited to grand gestures or visible achievements. There is profound value simply in being an authentic, aligned, peaceful presence. In a world often characterized by noise, stress, and conflict, embodying qualities like inner peace, genuine kindness, quiet confidence, and authenticity is itself a powerful offering, expressing one's unique gifts and talents. However humble they may seem, when done from a place of alignment and joy, adds something unique and valuable to the tapestry of existence. The effortless path encourages discovering and expressing this authentic self, trusting that this expression in itself constitutes a meaningful contribution. It shifts the focus from striving to do something important to recognizing the importance of simply being fully and truthfully who one is, guided by inner wisdom. This authentic way of being can sometimes serve as a quiet inspiration to others, abstractly considered, who may observe the ease, resilience, or contentment it brings. It's not about preaching or telling others how to live, but simply demonstrating, through lived example, that a different way is possible, a way less reliant on struggle and more rooted in inner harmony. People are often drawn to authenticity and inner peace, seeing someone navigate challenges with grace, pursue goals with quiet confidence, or simply radiate a sense of well-being, can plant a seed of possibility in the minds of observers, encouraging them perhaps to explore their own inner potential. This gentle modeling, occurring naturally and without agenda, can be a powerful catalyst for positive change, rippling outwards in ways that may never be fully known. One might think of an aligned life as leaving a gentle wake as it moves through the world. A boat driven by force and inner conflict often creates a turbulent, choppy wake, disrupting the water around it. But a vessel moving smoothly, in harmony with the currents, leaves a much gentler, smoother wake. Similarly, a life lived from inner alignment tends to navigate experiences with less inner friction and outer drama, Conflicts may be resolved more peacefully, challenges met more resourcefully, interactions handled more gracefully. The passage through life feels less disruptive, leaving behind subtle traces of peace, kindness, or inspiration rather than turmoil or negativity. This gentle passage is a natural consequence of resolving inner conflicts and acting from a place of coherence and goodwill. It feels important, even as this reflection concludes, to reaffirm that the inner journey itself is endless and ever unfolding. There's no final destination called perfect alignment or complete growth. The beauty lies in the ongoing process of discovery, refinement, and expansion. The subconscious mind is infinitely deep, potential is limitless, and awareness can always broaden. Embracing this inner journey as a lifelong adventure, approached with curiosity and gentleness, is key. There will always be new layers to explore, deeper levels of peace to access, greater expressions of creativity and connection to embody. The effortless path is not about achieving a static state, but about engaging willingly and peacefully in the continuous, beautiful dance of becoming, trusting the inner guidance that unfolds step by step. And the way to navigate this infinite inner journey always comes back to the profound power of simplicity. The core principles remain the constant guides, cultivating gentle awareness of thoughts and feelings, choosing kindness towards oneself, and by extension, the world, nurturing unwavering trust in the inner wisdom and the unfolding process, practicing wise patience that respects natural timing, keeping the focus primarily on the inner state as the source of outer experience, embracing the freedom of letting go of what no longer serves, and finding joy and meaning in the journey itself. These simple keys, used consistently with gentle intention, unlock the vast potential held within the subconscious mind and allow life to be lived with increasing grace, effectiveness, and deep, quiet fulfillment. They are the timeless tools for cooperating with the effortless flow of becoming. Therefore, let the enduring message be one of peaceful possibility. Effortless success and fulfilling growth are not reserved for a lucky few, nor are they achieved through harsh struggle or complicated means. They are the natural consequence of a harmonized inner state, a state cultivated through simple, gentle, consistent attention to the inner world of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. By befriending the powerful subconscious mind, trusting its wisdom, and aligning conscious intention with its quiet currents, a life of greater ease, joy, resilience, and authentic expression naturally unfolds. The journey inward is the greatest adventure, and its rewards are boundless, revealing themselves layer upon layer, sustained by the quiet power and gentle grace that reside eternally within. May this understanding continue to deepen, supporting a path of continuous, effortless becoming.